And welcome back to the Basil Breen Boombox. I'm here with Geniele Squires, the Duchess of Rush. How do you think of that?
I like it.
See, the Dutch, see the U, I was trying to make it kind of musical a bit, so that's the best I could come up with. Princess sounded a bit too like...
I like the word princess because I am a Disney fan, so it's fine.
It just, I don't know, you're stronger than a princess, you know what I mean? Like the Duchess of is at least... I don't know. She probably goes out and fights some wars and stuff, maybe.
A little bit.
Yeah, it feels like that anyway.
Yeah,
but we're finally here because I've been trying to pin this woman down for a few weeks, maybe a few days. I can't even remember.
I think it's about 2 months.
She's just so busy. She just showed me her schedule there on Google Calendar, which is something I've used, but not to the degree that you seem to have done. Like, it just seems so... Well, it's obviously such a great thing to know what you're doing at each time, but the kind of discipline that it takes to kind of invest in that time. But what actually... Like, what made you start planning as much as you did? Like, because I always think, okay, I started planning this before on Google Calendar, and I started micro-planning too much. Like, little 5-minute gaps in the bathroom, like, oh, I go to, like, and then they start getting, I was like, it's too much, I can't handle this, like, because it's all these little things, you know what I mean? Whereas with you, it seems like you've nice, big, juicy blocks of stuff, you know what I mean? Which seems more manageable.
Yeah, because it makes sense. I used to do that. That didn't work for me when I lived in Canada. When I do, like, my roster in, like, the restaurant I worked in, that's how I do it, like, write a schedule, take a break after 10 minutes. Didn't work for me at all. So, but like, it's just because I'm busy. You work, I go to college, play football, you want to go to the gym, you want to be able to see friends, you have events that come up, but you can't double book. Like.
Jesus Christ, I thought I was busy.
You can't let people down.
I don't like let people down.
But I still let people down, I feel like, because someone wants to do something, and I'm like, let me just check my calendar, and I'm like, sorry, and they're like, but it's like 4 weeks away, and I'm like, yeah, I know, but... Someone booked
crazy.
in, like, and it's you don't
let me down so many times.
You're not booking people in. You're just saying you can't because you have prior arrangements. Like, so it just works for me. It keeps me.
Yeah, I find it very hard to say no. Even though my excuse is not as valid as yours. Like, you have a little schedule thing. In my head, I get anxiety. Just like, I need all this time to do. I'm such a selfish person with my time. It seems when I say this out loud, but. All my little pursuits that I want to do, especially with music and even this, I always feel like I don't have enough time. And then, no. The sound, hold on. And that'll be the last of the technical difficulties, right? I'm done with this. I'm not doing it anymore.
Because I'm around. Technology hates me.
I know, but it just seems... I thought I had it all figured out this time, especially after the call, and I was like, no, I'm not going to deal with it. So... There'll probably be a little cut there, but that'll be it, hopefully. The video should still be recording. But what were we even saying before? You
were saying that you were selfish because you were focusing on yourself and saying no to other people.
I'm selfish or whatever. Yeah, so when people ask me, and it's great that people ask you to do things as well, because it means that they want to spend time with you. They think you're a good person to spend time with. But sometimes my initial reaction is like, I want to say no, but I don't. You know what I mean? And then when I end up doing the thing, I'm really happy that I did it.
Yeah.
So, I just need to kind of give myself a bit more slack or something. You know what I mean? Because there's only so much time you can actually spend doing things.
But were you always like that? I feel like you weren't always like that. I feel like when there was something on, you'd
I know.
latch onto it.
That's what I was.
Like,
I used to be. I used to always. I used to just love, like, not doing, like, pursuing things, like goals or whatever. Like, I was more just party, have a good time. You know what I mean? And then something changed. I think when I started working and I started, like working on a computer and kind of measuring productivity in a weird, not like numbers and like charts or anything, but just in my head, like, Jesus, look how much I can get done if I have this amount of time and this amount of time. And then I think it just becomes, I started spinning too many plates, and then I've loads of plates spinning, and then there's no real room for any more plates, even though life is too short to not spend it with people, though, you know what I mean? So I kind of recognise that, but yeah, I still get this kind of like, you're asking me, and I find it very hard to say no, and I wish I could say no, but I'm not going to say no, which is weird.
Yeah, but sometimes something has to give, though.
Yeah.
It's all right, because you're saying you're talking about spinning plates. Like, you have to smash one.
Yeah, I know. And actually, I heard a really good metaphor for this with one of my friends. His I think it was his wife. I was living with this lad in London, and he said, it's like if you're waiting or whatever, or not even waiting, you're just bringing out glasses, and you drop one glass. You don't just say, "Oh well, throw all the glasses away." You just say it's just a glass.
Yeah.
And you'll relax. But sometimes especially with diet and food, if I, let's say I'm real strict, real consistent, I kind of then let one little cheat day in, and then that becomes a cheat extravaganza.
Right,
you know what I
okay,
mean? And then I have the car, and then McDonald's isn't even that far away anymore now, you know what I mean? Which is dangerous, you know? They were actually talking about
They're putting right there that you can walk to.
Do you think? Do you think that's going to happen?
I don't know. People are rejecting it. But it would be really good for the local
bit. It doesn't fit skerries, though.
Huh.
It doesn't fit. Like, McDonald's, skerries is like it would need to be a vegan McDonald's or something.
No, don't. Please don't put it on a pedestal. It's already it's already gone off the rails.
Yeah, but in my head, it just feels, not to be hating on skerries, but it just feels like it's too uppity for McDonald's or something.
Okay, fair.
Well, I suppose we're sitting here in more views, so.
But like a certain cafe didn't last in skerries that was uppity, but yeah, another small one that's on the little Strand Street there at the back of the bus bar is flying. So.
Oh, well, you know more about this landscape
Well, I
than
don't
me.
want to be named.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like, I don't want
I used to work for one of them, that's why I'm not saying anything.
You're like you're like, this is your arena, so I gotta back away from this arena.
God, not anymore, like.
Yeah. But I do want to go back to the schedule and just the idea of you going back to college, because I think a lot of people need to hear that you can decide that I want to do something different, and you can actually do something about it. I have other friends that have gone back to college to do whatever was in their heart, you know what I mean? You don't have to kind of be stuck in your role. Even me, I've done software engineering for years, and now I'm trying to do the music thing more full time, you know what I mean? And that's going to take ages, but the point is I'm doing it. So what was kind of the impetus, or what made you think I want to go back to college, or even just I want to go to college now?
Well, look, when I was away in Canada, I picked up a bunch of skills. And then when I came back and I was working as a restaurant manager here, I didn't enjoy it. So I was like, maybe it's not the restaurant thing that I want to do. So I went and did a part-time diploma in HR in IBAC College. And I loved it. And I was like, this is it. This is what I want to get into. And it's not the whole HR side where you like approve holiday requests and you're that person that everybody hates because you didn't show up for your shift in work. Like it's not that end of it. It's like the leading and developing people. It's like giving people an opportunity and teaching them to be better and do better, like in their personal and professional lives. Like. So I started my degree 2020.
Class.
Yeah.
And how do you think that's been going?
Yeah, I'm flying. I just finished my second year there last Friday. I sat my last exam of 7. Yeah.
How many years is it?
4.
4?
Yeah.
Is it part-time?
No.
What? What the hell is going on here?
It's full-time. So I did the first year part-time when I wasn't well.
Yeah.
And then to give myself a break, I swapped into full-time to kind of get into some sort of daytime routine because like I can't stay awake past 10 o'clock. Like,
like
I'm the same. I just can't do it. Like I don't know. I used to be such a night bird, like awake till 3 a.m. Like I just can't stay awake anymore. So so I swapped it, and then I went for the daytime. And then like what coincided was I was looking for an internship for the summer just to get some experience and then go back to full-time in September. But I ended up falling into a job as a full-time HR generalist. So then I balanced both for a couple of months. But now I'm just doing that for the summer.
No way, so you're doing HR now?
Now I'm a generalist, yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Is that what you're doing? That's why you couldn't make it, like, or whatever.
I was in Baldoyle. I'm in Baldoyle, yeah.
No way.
Yeah. So I look after the worst part that I dislike the most, like, is the employment law, the legal side of it. So I'm doing all of that. But I was like, why not go and perfect your worst part? so that you can have both in a few years when you finish your degree.
Yeah, for me,
And
like
move
looking
up.
at from the outside, like what you would probably gravitate towards is just the people side, I imagine. You know what I mean? Like you're just a people's person.
Yeah.
Even as far back as Oxygen, I just remember how caring you were. You were like the mother of the camp when you just.
I was
you
doing a bunch of blows.
I know, but I remember you came a few days late, and or one day late, or it was just whenever you came, we were already set
that
up.
night.
It was that night. It was that night.
How to rude.
And you just had all these Cadbury Suns and like clean and stuff. It was all just like, oh, we're saved. And I brought so many Cadbury Suns. I started feeling bad, but you were just like, it's fine, like whatever. Yeah. Even though I started getting a bit ridiculous. And then just seeing, you know, you when you were doing like waiting and bartending, or not even bartending, just waiting. Yeah. That was what it was. Just around, and even your interactions that I've had with you, I always just felt like, she's just so nice, and like you're so accepting or something. You know what I mean? Like you just give it there's good energy. You know what I mean? It's like, I'm just at ease with this person. You know what I mean? You're trying to. It feels like whether it's conscious or not, you're making the other person at ease in a way.
Well, that's what you try to do, isn't it? Like, well, that's what I have always been. You can take it two ways, though. Like people would take it as, like, she's lovely and she's full of energy and it's great, or some people would be like, oh no, I don't like her, she's too much.
Yeah, but that's just the way.
But that's fine. Like that's the way that person thinks. It's nothing to do with like who I am as a person. Like it wouldn't offend me. I'd be like, okay, not their cup of tea.
Yeah. Well, sometimes you find out that you're not someone's cup of tea. I find it when, like, Brew. Shout out to Brew Carl, right? Because we're at the stag and at the wedding, and every now and again there'll just be a comment. It's like, you're really loud, like, and like he was hating on me so much, man.
Brew,
and I was just at first
he lives a quiet life.
I know he was. No, I love Brew. You know the best.
So
sometimes you're gonna rub people up the wrong way.
Yeah.
But it's hard. Well, I imagine it's hard. Sometimes it's hard for me because I feel that I do. Like, I'm consciously trying to maybe make the person, like, I want us to have a good time. Yeah. That's my kind of thing. I want us to, after we have this interaction, whatever, that we're like, yeah, that was a good time. So when that's not happening, I can kind of sense it in real time. You know what I mean? And then I'm trying to make adjustments. Yeah. Like, I need to not say that joke again, or I need to tone that bit down.
Yeah.
But imagine it's hard when, you know, if you're being attentive or whatever, then it's like, I'm only trying to help.
Yeah.
So,
and you feel like you're getting judged for it. But like, I don't know. I think I was like that for a long time. But like, I think when you work on yourself a little bit more, you're able to like adapt to that. Do you know what I mean? And it's the people that you're around and actually want to be around. If you're sitting in a group of people and you don't want to be around them, why would you give your energy to make that happen? Whereas you're just saying you're at a wedding, you're at a stag. You're going to do that. They're your friends. They're people in your life. And you're going to do it more with the people that you've known for a long time than the two people from, Mikey's?
Yeah.
Maybe people from the army that were there and you're like, I don't know these people.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to turn around and focus on these people. Because you do know them.
Yeah.
If they're having a good time, like, so.
Yeah, you kind of have to know.
But that's who you are. Like, I've known you as that person.
Yeah.
For what? I'm not saying how many years, like 14.
How many years. You're like my oldest female friend. I'm probably the only one that'll probably be ever on this podcast, you know.
I'll take it.
What do you think you have to say?
It's fab. It's very bachelor.
What makes a bachelor? Just like how...
Well, I was just going to say you could do it with some candles, but like, there is a candle.
There is a candle because we try to deodorize the place, you know what I mean?
I'm also shocked there's no Rick and Morty or like... What? Oh!
Boom! It's like she's planning this!
I'm blind.
She's planning this! It's like, well, if you had candles... It's like, there is candles! Oh, well, if only there was a Rick and Morty doll!
Okay, never mind. Okay, I'm done. No, it's nice.
Yeah, I think it's...
it's subtle. It's subtle.
Yeah. What would you do differently?
I don't know, like put some flowers.
Where would you put the flowers?
Like in one of the coves.
But you have to look after flowers.
You can buy false flowers in a nice jar, and all you have to do is wash the jar out in the dishwasher every 10 days.
Every 10 days?
Well, you get there's dust.
Oh. Is
you have a dog.
The dog?
No, you have a dog, so the dust like from the dog hairs will get in.
Oh God. Well, there could be. Who knows how much dust there's already here?
It's a bachelor plan.
Every
It's
10 days.
What?
That just seems a bit excessive.
Well, I don't know. Like I
want something that I can leave there. It's
we don't
also
really have a lot of that
dead.
stuff in my house. It's just like we have, because we're barely ever there, so there's no point in like, it's just, we have stuff. The sitting room is Dad's man cave, like, you know?
Well, I thought I was going to get something. So I just have to get dead flowers, not real flowers.
Well, you have nice family photos.
That we can't see in the shot.
No.
To the
But
bridge.
like, you have all the little homely touches.
Yeah, I think...
That's my favourite though.
Oh, the Indian
Actually,
eye.
you know, I kind of like that, yeah.
Yeah, these are things that my brother bought and never put up. So like...
So you covered the telly with
I
them.
covered the telly. Well, before I was using a dry roll to cover the telly because there's a bit of a shine on the telly.
Right, okay.
So I was just like, let's just reuse this artwork. You know what I mean?
And it's great now.
But yeah, the telly... I mean, it looks grand. It creates the illusion. You know what I mean? And then this table actually was in my room.
You wouldn't know you were sitting in a sitting room, like.
Yeah, well, no, in my
From the
room.
other side, like.
Yeah. But yeah, just on dealing with people because I'm always reading like in real time like what's going on. Like what do you do then if you feel like you're rubbing someone up the wrong way?
Oh. See, I used to overthink like that all the time. And I used to feel energy. But you have to keep remembering, like, it's not you, it's them. They just might have resting bitch face, or they might be very in. Like, so they're like, you know, a massive introvert. So them being in that situation, they're probably uncomfortable. Not uncomfortable with you, it could be uncomfortable with the entire situation. Do you know that kind of way?
Yeah.
So I don't really be like,
it's not a reflection.
oh, that person's looking at me. Like, what? It's not about you, like.
What can I... Yeah.
I used to think that when I was a lot younger and stuff. I used to be like, oh my God, like, they don't like me. And you have to try and fix that they don't like you. Who cares? You know? And I don't mean that in a rude sense. I just mean, like, there's enough people that you have in your life. You don't need to go and make it more.
Yeah, like when Bruce said I was being too loud, I wasn't going to say... I couldn't control it, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm loud, right? That's just the way it is. But if it's... I remember being at... a wedding for my friend Chuck in London. And I just remember having this conversation with this lad, and I could just tell he was just being cold to me. Not even that. It was just, and I was like, how am I gonna break in here? How am I gonna get in?
Okay.
Because like that's the way I think. I'm like, we can be best friends here. I know we can figure this out. If you just let me in, but you gotta let me in.
Right.
But he just never allowed me in. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but what did you take from that?
Like,
were you walking away disappointed? But here you are talking about it.
Well, I felt I suppose it's like your view is like, well, it's not me, and I don't think it's me, but I think I could maybe there's a string of sentences that I could have said that could have got me in there.
Or maybe he just didn't want to be there. I'm just going to get you to raveling me 50 quid after this.
Yeah, like
after this therapy session.
Yeah, like I don't know. I just felt like I could have done better, and I will do better. You know what I mean?
Okay.
But it kind of goes back to just you actually went on first dates.
Yeah.
To like, which for me is like super ballsy in relation to just meeting a random person, but not just a random person, but a random person on television. You know what I mean? Like that takes balls. Like what was kind of your thinking and like, geez, I'm just gonna fucking apply for this and just do it.
I actually applied with my sister in 2019.
She didn't get it.
No, she was on it.
Oh, she was.
No, totally different season or whatever. But we applied together. We did a video together, and we were about to go on. But like I was like in a kind of a situationship, so I decided not to go on it.
Yeah.
Because like how are you gonna go on a date when you're kind of seeing someone like it's just not me?
God.
Like it'd be weird.
No, you can't do that.
And on the telly, like
No, that's like the worst. Then you can't do that.
I was raging anyway because it didn't last very long. Like
Yeah.
you know, and I was like, damn. But yeah. So then and then the girls kept tagging me in it for the new season after COVID. So I was like, fuck it, I'm just gonna apply. So I did. I told no one. I told my best friend on the day because I was trying to pick an outfit to wear.
You told no one, and then just one person.
I told my
on the
sister
day.
like the week before, yeah.
Oh
I was
my
like,
goodness.
will I bother going to this pre-interview or like, will I go on it? And she was like, go. So I was like, right, okay, I just went. So I went, I was working in the pub till I think it was like 2:30 or something in the morning. And then I had to get up and be in some hotel in town at 7:00. I was wrecked. But like I just did the pre-interview thing.
Oh my goodness.
That's the one that gets aired on the telly throughout the show. Where you're in different clothes.
Okay, yeah.
And then, it was just...
And did you have to pass that, or if you're already...
No, you're already accepted. It's just
in.
like they ask you a bunch of questions like pre-interview, you know, and they kind of make you help your story and make your story. That's how they come together. They ask you a bunch of questions. You're there for about 45, 50 minutes. Then they make you dance around.
They make you dance around?
My gosh. Like they give you props and stuff. They give you all these props and they're just trying to find the best one that suited you. And did I blow bubbles? I think I was blowing bubbles or I was making some sort of...
Oh my goodness.
I was
How
doing
many people in the room when you're doing this?
Like, 2. The cameraman.
Just a bit more of that,
Literally, and you're standing there.
That's so cruel.
There's a green screen behind you and then like the big love heart thing. And you just do it. I was like, oh,
you do? What else are you going to do?
Yeah.
You've already signed up for it.
Now. Yeah.
They can make you do anything.
And then I was due to go on the date with your man on it. I think it was on a Sunday. And I broke my finger playing football. So, and I had to have a surgery. So I was like, I can't go on this date. I was meant to be on the Thursday and I ended up going on the Sunday. One of them anyway. And then I broke my finger playing football. And then I said, look, I can't go on this date. And they said, it's okay, we reschedule. But then when I got there on the date, like, it turned out your man had broken his finger too. So it was quite a...
Oh, yeah. That's crazy.
Yeah, it was a coincidence.
I need to find it on the RT Play or something. I need to try to dig it out. I only seen a little clip on Facebook.
Yeah.
Is all I seen. But how did you find... So when you did the 45-minute interview...
Yeah.
Versus what they showed, like what was kind of your reaction?
I never thought I was gonna get portrayed in any kind of way. Like that's your biggest fear, but like the leading up to it, and like obviously the fact I was dating someone as well. So like, but at the time when I did it, I was single.
Just find out like, oh yeah.
told him on the first.
This goes out to him. You're dumb.
Told him on the first date. It's totally fine. The build up to it, like you get a bit. Like, and then I was like, they're not going to be portraying me in any way because I just was completely myself. But it was a great experience. I was single. I was dating at the time.
Yeah.
And then I just said, feck it, I'd go and do it. And it was a bit of crack.
So right, so let's say on the day of the date, are you told you're just told where to go? Is that it?
Yeah, so basically they told me where to go to get off the Lewis. Get off the Lewis, there's like a cameraman at the bottom of the Lewis. I know you're laughing because they find out first. They text
Make sure you're not wearing a skirt or something.
Are you showing up on the Lewis?
He's just like, I work for RT, and he's just trying to get an upshot. I'm sorry. I swear, don't look at me bad.
He got me feet.
I'm gonna do that. Oh, did he? Oh.
Yeah, you should go on it. You deadly on it.
I'd be free.
You don't. There's no cameras. You won't be free. There's no cameras all around you. They're all hidden in bushes and stuff.
Well, I don't know. Like, if you're looking for me, RT, you have to fucking get the money, sign that check.
Yeah. You have to apply though.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. We'll get into why I probably wouldn't apply. But so then after your man catches his little upskirt video, then
you go in. You get put into a hotel room on your own with another group of girls. They give you wine. They give you a beer.
So there's multiple people doing
it.
it?
Anyone who records the night of the show. Yeah. So it's like there was 4 of us.
That must be so cool.
It was. So you're sitting getting to know people.
Because they're all of it in the same spot.
One of the girls got locked on. I was like, she's I'm telling now. Anytime your one kept saying, do you want more alcohol, Geniele? I was like, I'm okay with the one glass.
You're just looking at your one. Just saying,
no, thank you. I'm glad I showed up an hour after her. Like, she was sculling Kansas side.
No!
She was so nice. She was so nice, but I was like, you are brave.
I'm gonna fucking go on this.
Yeah, I was thinking you're much braver than me. Like,
oh, that'd be the most horrendous thing.
I haven't seen her episode. I must watch it just to see.
Oh, they probably didn't make it.
No, I think it did.
Look at me, Daddy!
Yeah. I think she went off on a date later on with him as well.
Oh, it was one of them. It worked out.
Yeah.
So then your date, right? So you go in to, what was it, like a bar or something?
Yeah, I went into the bar. But you get handed money before you go in. So they hand you €35.
35 quid! Get a few points there.
And then you go in and you sit down, and they asked me prior to would I prefer to be sitting at the bar or walking in. And I said sitting at the bar.
Because someone has to walk in while the other person's there.
Exactly. So I sat at the bar and I got to order an old fashioned and have a bit of crack with the barman. And then in he came and we went and sat for dinner and you just chat you get an hour and a half down at the dinner table.
What's it like when you're being recorded? Like, I know we're being recorded.
Well, I don't know.
You probably just forget.
You don't know. There are cameras. There's not cameras everywhere. It's not like that. They're like in bushes. They're like, you know, like when do you not go into a hotel or anything like that and they have like a camera in the corner? It's not. But for me then, when I was watching it back, I was like, where was that camera zooming in on my face?
Because you couldn't see it.
No. So I was actually in a bush and it was just zooming in like.
Jesus Christ.
But yeah, no, it was a good experience. Like, it's just, I don't know.
And then what happens with your man then? Did you have to say, did he, like, who gets to say,
I don't know.
Do we get to go again? I'd go again, yeah.
Yeah, we do. They actually ask you beforehand, they ask you in front of each other, like, so you're sitting, there's a screen between us and COVID.
No!
Yeah.
Oh! And what?
Well, I'm not going to tell you what happened now because you didn't watch it.
No, shut up! Oh,
we both said yes, but we never saw each other again. We had a chat the next day and just, that was it.
So, but you knew that you couldn't see him again.
Yeah.
In a way.
Yeah.
So you had to...
Like, I can see where they matched us. Like, his house went on fire, my house went on fire. Like...
Check!
Like, I had my story and then he unfortunately lost somebody very close to him in a long time ago. Now, he didn't bring that up, but they were inking at it and he was just like, he didn't bring it up. But he told me afterwards.
Yeah.
But yeah. And then, so I can see where they matched it together. We were the first people on the first, we were first show to be televised in that season. So I think it just kind of made it played on people's heartstrings and everyone was like, we had this amazing connection and I was like, wow, they make it look so well.
You had to say yes, like.
Huh?
You had to say yes. Like.
Yeah, we had too much of it, like.
Yeah.
The conversation, that stuff we were talking about, they were quite personal, like, so.
Yeah, like, I suppose, like, there's no real nice segue to get into this stuff, but just in relation to your story that you're kind of alluded to here, you know, you were diagnosed with cancer and then you now have survived that and are in remission.
Yeah.
So happy days, all good, right? So just making sure that I got that right. I don't know where a good jumping off point is, but if you would, if you don't mind, even just walk us through, first of all, like, how did you even find out that you had cancer?
Long story short. Verbal
diarrhea.
Yeah, you sounded like, I'm not even going to tell you sound like it's fine because I can't think of the movie. It started in 2019 in the summertime and I was like getting sick a lot, you know, and I just was in and out of hospital, didn't know what it was, just told it was bad gastroenteritis actually, was put on drips and all. And then later on in the year, I started to get this really bad cough and I was put on antibiotics and steroids. And then by Christmas, I was like getting these rashes on my face. My face was blowing up and my skin was starting to get itchy. I was starting to get a lot of bruising on my skin. By the February, I'd gone away with my sister to London. And I remember feeling terrible that weekend, but like just trooping on through. And she was saying like, you need to get that cough sorted. And I started getting night sweat, or like literally night sweat. So basically my temperature would peak over 40. No, I didn't know that at the time. I just thought it was like the heat of the house.
Oh my goodness.
You don't put it down to anything. So
what?
yeah. So and I'd find myself scratching a lot in my sleep, and I would remember sending pictures to the girls, like lathering myself in Sudocreme and putting leggings on, then putting fluffy socks on at night time. And I was like, that's why my temperature is going really high. But I was going to the doctor and I was going to the hospital and they were telling me there was nothing wrong with me.
Oh God.
They kept saying I had an infection. I was using the wrong skincare products, and I was contacting skincare places saying your products after doing this to me.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, and then the cough never went away. It only got worse. And then I got weighed in the March, and then COVID hit. So like,
so how many
no
months has it been since like that first inkling of there's something wrong till March?
June 2019.
So like,
we're now March 2020.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
And then
9 months or something.
Yeah, it came June again, and I was in hospital in the March, and then in the June, I and I got weighed, and then the June, people were actually saying to me, like, you know, but it was COVID. A couple of people were saying to me around, going, Jesus, like, you're tiny, like the size of you. Like, you're after losing loads of weight. And I was like, I was just walking like everybody else. Only I was going into work still. I had to be in my office every single day. We were, what do you call it? Frontline workers, like, you know, I was working in the freight industry. So you're getting goods into the country and getting goods out. So I was in work every day, and then I was looking forward to getting home in the evening. So I was like, sake, everybody getting 350 quid sitting at home. I was like, and I'm going into work. So, I was just walking every day. And then I went in to see the doctor again. And I said, this cough's not going away. And he was like, all right, we'll get you in for an x-ray. And that was on the Thursday. That was on a Thursday. I remember going for a walk with like my best friend that night. We went for a big, massive walk, and we were like playing on the beach and stuff, like 2 kids, like, you know what I mean? Like, nearly 30 years of age, and we're playing in caves on the beach. Like.
Everything's fine.
And she said to me before she went into the house, she's like, God, I could just walk with you for another 2 hours. I could walk with you all day. And we just laughed about it, and then that was it. Went home like nothing. And then I remember ringing her on the way to the hospital on the Saturday morning to get the x-ray, because I decided to go on the Saturday because I couldn't miss any more work because I was getting in trouble for missing work for being so sick. But like I said, it was like made a joke to my boss saying, once I know, you'll know. Like I was like, I don't know what it is. It just won't go away. It keeps coming back, but it comes back worse. And then, I went in for an x-ray on Saturday morning. I remember ringing her and she didn't answer. And I was like crying, and I was like, felt like there was something wrong. And then I was like, relax, nothing wrong with you. You just had a minute. And then she texted me about an hour later. She's like, you all right? And I was like, yeah, just for a second thought there was something wrong, but it'd be grand. Like I was like, going in here for this x-ray now, I'll be fine. And then they found a 10 centimeter tumour between my heart and my lung.
Oh my goodness.
And then I didn't get out of the hospital for almost 4 weeks, or it was about 4 weeks, yeah.
Oh man. How did they break the news? Did they just have to say, like, this sounds horrendous?
This is like, and it's terrible to laugh at it, like, cause
it's horribly
I don't
funny.
laugh because when I look back, that's what it is. It's horribly funny because of how it happened.
Yeah.
So basically, the nurse literally went like that, or the radiation nurse or the x-ray nurse, and she's like, have you been feeling unwell? And I was like, yeah, that's why I'm here. Like, and I was like, what do I do now? Do you send the x-ray to the doctor, or like how does it work? And she said, no, I'll be right back. And she said, I'm going to go get a doctor. And I knew what that meant. I said, okay, something's wrong here. So she's like, just get yourself dressed. So I went and got myself dressed, and I ran out, and somebody came to me straight away. And I'll never forget, I don't know if you've been in the back of A&E, like in the middle they have like beds all around in a big square, and in the middle they have like an oval office where all the doctors sit. And as we're walking by the window, he says, see that x-ray there, that's yours. And I was like, right, okay. And he says, see that little spot right there? And there actually was this little shadow. And then I was like, oh yeah, I see it there. And I said, that black spot on the left. He goes, no, he goes, that thing there, that shadow on the right. And I was like, that's not a spot, that's the size of my fist.
That's
like,
a
if
lot
not bigger. And I literally was like that. And then he just goes, that's a mass, so we need to go figure out what that is. So I'll bring you to the back here and sit you on a bed, and we'll figure it out. Like, but maybe call somebody.
Oh my goodness.
And that was it.
Maybe call somebody.
Yeah, so my phone was at like 3%. I had to run out to my car, turn on the ignition, plug it in, trying to talk to my brother on the phone. He can't hear me because you're in a car park, and obviously I'm crying, but I didn't want to call my sister because I didn't want to put it on her. Like, you know, I was like, he's a man, he'll be fine. Like, so, but no, he thought I was so upset. He thought that I was saying like my dad had a heart attack again or something. So he was screaming on the phone. He was like, "What are you saying?
What's wrong?"
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
And then I was like, can't talk to him. So I rang my sister, and she was like, "Don't be so fucking dramatic. A mass." She was like, "I've got Maliki. What am I going to do with him?" I was like, "Just bring him home. Come to the hospital. It's fine."
Like mass on Sunday.
Yeah, yeah. Mass 10 o'clock.
Yeah.
And then, by then I'd already seen 4 different doctors. They'd come and literally just tested me, and somebody took blood from an artery, and they went straight to the lab and got it tested. And this girl, I'll never forget her name is Maeve. She was the exact same age as me, and she was my doctor. And she said, I think you have this cancer. It's a blood cancer, and I think it's non-Hodgkin's lymphoma. We can't be sure. Or Hodgkin's lymphoma. I was watching House last night. That's why non-Hodgkin.
Oh yeah.
So that's why that's in my head.
That's why I learned that word. Even.
Yeah, that's why it's in my head. So and then I was like, right. And then I just turned around and I looked at her again, and I blinked, and I was like, can you just say that again? And then she said it again. I was like, right. And I went to cry for a second, and Then I stopped and she said, do you want to go out and tell your sister? My sister's sitting outside of the car park. Mind you, she starts to dawn on her that something's wrong. So she's having a scrap with the nurse at the front door for not letting her in almost.
Yeah.
And she was like, how come that old lady gets to have her daughter going in and I can't go into my sister? You know? And she was right in the end, and she did get into the hospital in the end. So the doctor came out and the doctor had to tell her, and then it was just what do we do from there kind of a thing.
Oh my goodness.
But I'm very grateful. I went through, it's almost 2 years since my diagnosis. So the fact I can say that and be in the position I am today is great.
100%. But obviously that's like the beginning of the journey. And at the beginning, it's just, there's so much unknown. There's just so much kind of, well, from my perspective, I'm an anxious person anyway. So that would set me into like a sort of mental hell, because I've actually dealt with sort of, I classify it as mental illness, like a real hypochondria, like not like, oh, I think I'm sick all the time, like real kind of debilitating hypochondria where I cut myself shaving and I'm looking at how long it's healing, and I'm like, oh my because I actually found a lump on my testicle. And it turned out to just be a cyst. Now, this isn't really, like, I'm not saying that this is like equal to your story.
That's to say it. Like, you have to go and get it checked.
Everyone should 100% get it checked.
Everyone has to get it checked.
Everyone has to get everything checked.
All the time.
Don't put anything off is the main thing.
I didn't stop getting checked. Like, what if I gave up? Don't give up. Like, if you know your body, like.
Yeah.
You know,
that's a massive thing.
You have to just go.
You have to keep going. And you have to, if there's something wrong, because I think my dad, unfortunately, his health deteriorated so badly. He smoked, and then like he was having a few cans, and he was diabetic, and he was just, his health was just so bad, and his mentality, and it's a mentality I can see in a lot of older men that I've just have dealings with when I start talking about health stuff. It's better. It's like even though, right, if there's something wrong with you, it's almost better not to know, because like for them. Yeah. As in, even though it's better to know, because you can't do something about something you don't know about. No. But they know there's something wrong. They know there's something wrong, but yeah, they're avoiding it. They're running away from it. Instead of, they need to face it head on. And that's something I need to, not that there's anything I'm worried about now, but I know in the future I'm susceptible to kind of, that I'd rather, I'm too, like let's say if I was doing blood tests to find out just my general, I have a funny story, right? So I was doing a blood pressure test, right, when I was in New Zealand, when I was with Amy at the time, and I got so nervous about doing the blood pressure test in case it was going to give me some number I didn't like, that it sent my fucking temperature, I was boom, 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 boom. And then when I did it, like it showed my pulse going, and I was just like playing it cool, like I was just sitting there, but I was so scared of like, if I see a number or something that I don't like, it's going to send me into fucking like loopy-loop land, where you're just worried about sickness and your health. Now I think I've come through that, and I think part of it was just being away from home for so long, and I was always worried. I think I was worried that I'd die before like I ever came home and seen people again, or started being, you know, more producing, like put my music out. There was lots of stuff associated with it and then obviously I think because my dad's health, watching him deteriorate and stuff, basically built like a health anxiety in me, that I'm just real freaked of like anything health related. But so like for you, like you were obviously dealing with the sort of the symptoms for so long, and then when they finally come out and say it, like are you worried, like, oh my god, this started this time and I took so long to get it, and now I'm here?
And I knew it because that was the Saturday, and the Sunday my doctor, my oncologist, the blood doctor, he came in with his residents, and I felt like I was in an episode of Grey's Anatomy.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. So I was there with my pen and my paper, like, you know, and just listened to what they were saying. And then he was like, I need you to tell your story. So I told him the story. And then every time I mentioned A&E, so I'd been into A&E 4 times. And each time just sent away. And he was looking at them to be like, this is a young girl. She's after coming in here, and she tried. Basically looking at them going, do everything and try everything before you kick somebody out of the hospital, like, you know. Because as far as I know, like my cancer is quite rare, and you can get it young around that age, like in men and women between the ages of 26 and 35. So like it would be something that's common.
Yeah.
So, and then I showed symptoms, and I took out my phone and I had pictures. I documented everything. So don't ask me why, but I just did. Just took pictures of everything, and it was a lot of it was to show my sister if she wasn't at home or something. I'd take pictures and I'd say, "This is how I woke up today. Like what do I do?" You know, and that's why I had it. So I was showing him everything, and he was showing them too. Like,
Jesus.
So look, I mean, I get the whole everyone makes mistakes and all, and I was young and I was healthy, and at the time I was like working out, doing Pilates, eating healthy, working a job, you know, that kind of way. It's like it wasn't it was COVID, so like you weren't going out, like I was having a glass of wine maybe with my dad, like, but that was it.
Jesus.
So
it's interesting, this idea of have you ever heard like a black swan? So like an event that's so rare that it messes up your kind of understanding of the world. So a simple example would be, let's say you have a rule, right? If it's raining out, you bring an umbrella or something, right? Simple little rule that you have in your head. Or let's say then one day you go out and you bring the umbrella and the umbrella stabs you in the neck, right? So then you didn't account for that, and it messes up. So then maybe you shouldn't always bring an umbrella because it might stab you in the neck, right? Yeah. So there's in this article I was reading about this, there's these things called where they refer to them as the rules that work in 99.9%. Someone comes in with back pain. It's probably sitting down for it's probably fits this 99.9%, but they don't really account for the 0.1% of it's a tumor sticking into his spine or whatever it could be. So even us and like obviously the medical profession, the medical profession can get more immune to this thinking, or it can become strengthened because they're just dealing with loads of people, and 9 times out of 10 it is just something simple. Yeah. But it's like when you hear these stories, it's hard for you to feel any sort of like sympathy for the health staff or whatever, because you're like, how did you not see it like when it was coming in? But again, they are only human as well, and it is great that at least we have these dedicated places for when we have when you're having your worst day. Yeah. Imagine.
But they know how to fix it though.
Yeah, exactly.
I was saying to you yesterday. I was only in there yesterday. Like, do you know the kind of way?
Yeah. So it's like, at least we've in a developed world, we have these little places where we've designated these will look after you, which is great. But obviously it's like there's no such thing as a kind of perfect system. But it's good to hear that the doctor is using your story on his episode of Grey's Anatomy to kind of explain. Yeah. So when then you first sort of are dealing with this, and you're reacting how you're reacting, you're like, I'm just going to document everything. Who knows? Like,
well, I did that because I was I had to go into a blood ward. Why I can't say that word, I don't know. A blood ward. Yeah. And like they come in and they disinfect it like all the time. Like you're exhausted. I was exhausted. Like it's like my body just went down like that, and I was just exhausted all the time. And you're in looking at these 4 walls, and the only people you see are the nurses and the doctors, and you get outside for a bit of fresh air. You're on a time limit and you go out and see friends and stuff. And whereas I used to get up in the mornings in my pajamas, and I actually stopped then getting dressed because I was like, what is the point? I'd get up, shower, and into a fresh pair of pajamas. You just wanted to be comfortable. Yeah. It was just the way it was. Like, and the bigger the pajamas, the better. I kept saying. Yeah. I don't care if I look like a little stick walking around. I was like, I just wanted big pajamas. Yeah. So I'd get up for a walk and I'd walk around, and they would just know that off I went again, like going a little walk. Like by the time I get back, like you're wrecked. And then you got your fresh air, and people would come and visit me, and we'd sit on a bench, but there was no physical touch. I remember I hugged my friends once, and the whole time home they were like, oh my god, what if you gave her disease? Yeah, like their heads were going mental. So it wasn't worth it. No, during COVID, like everyone's standing away from you. All you want is a physical touch. Like I couldn't touch my dad.
Oh my goodness.
The close person who'd get to me all the time was Daniel, because she'd come and do my hair.
Wow.
Like she'd plait my hair for me for a couple of days and all, like, you know.
Jesus, that whole dynamic of COVID just sprinkled in on top of it.
So then I literally was like, I think you'd be awake at all hours in the evening and all. And then after it was like 10 days, I was like, well, I'm just going to go public and just turn around. Because I started hearing whispers coming to my phone. And I got a phone call from one of my dad's friends, and he had heard it out. And I was like, this is not how I want people that I know to find out.
Yeah.
So I said, better things come from the horse's mouth, because it stops rumors.
Yeah, 100%.
It stops rumors. So, I heard I was laid up in a bed and I was in bits, and like it was really bad, and it was, and I was in bits, and it was really bad. But like I was,
but you don't know how much is getting like
exactly.
she's tied up in there.
At the end, so at the end of every day, then I just like kind of write a bit about my day was, and then I put it up. And some days I had treacherous days. Like one of my worst days was when I actually got to leave the hospital and go out I had to go to St. James's for a PET scan. But my dad got me McDonald's.
Oh.
I hadn't had McDonald's since my friend's wedding, like a year and a half prior to, like, and I was just like, take me for a Big Mac. Exactly. They were checking my bins and all in the hospital, thinking I wasn't eating because I was dropping so much weight so fast. But I was eating everything. I used to have a little gourmet breakfast. I used to ask the chefs across from me.
What does that look like in a hospital?
Just a bit of a freak. Like they'd throw you up cereal and milk. Like anyone knows me. Oh, you hate milk.
Yeah.
And I don't eat cereal because I don't like milk.
Oh,
so she used to get me a little yogurt. Or people would sneak me in like dairy-free yogurts, and she'd put them in the fridge for me, and I'd have granola
overnight.
And then she'd boil me up a few eggs and give me that lovely McCluskey's brown bread, and I'd have so I'd start then, I'd have me boiled eggs, and then I'd have my granola and my yogurt, and I'd have a bit of fruit then. And I'd drink my orange juice.
That is gourmet.
And have some water, and I was like, I am living the dream here in the hospital.
And yet you're still...
But every day they gave you a menu, and you could tick off what you wanted for your lunch and your dinner, and they'd come pick it up. Yeah, I'm not saying it was fabulous.
Oh yeah, but like, it was better.
I was like, grand, I'm in a hotel.
Yeah.
had an ensuite.
That's the spirit. Because you have to kind of
I had to.
You have to do mental sort of gymnastics.
You have to. Head. You're on your own.
Yeah.
You have nobody. I used to leave my door open. That was when I was like, come on in. Like I used to try and leave it open and hope someone would come to talk to me. A woman from Skerries worked downstairs in A&E, and she snuck up once or twice, a couple of times.
Wow. And
she'd come in her nurse's gear, and I remember, I'll never forget the morning. I'd been in the hospital about 2 weeks, and no one had been in my room yet. The only time someone was allowed in was my dad came in when we got my prognosis. Like he was allowed to come in to me when I was misdiagnosed with something else, but he came in that day and he got 20 minutes. He had to leave, but she came in to me a couple of times, and it was nice.
Oh my goodness, it's just such a crazy journey. But the sort of the tape in your head, like the tape in all of our heads, it's always playing some sort of tune, some sort of melody, and it's always reacting to the outside world. And I've gone through periods in my life where I felt that everything is grand. I'm not dealing with any sort of adversity, whatever. But I wasn't even conscious of that. I was just like, my mind is really strong now. You know what I mean? It's great. Then shit hits the fan, right? Shit hits the fan, and then suddenly I can't sleep, I can't eat, I can't do loads of stuff, right? And then it's like, then I'm trying to win the battle in my own head to bring my mental kind of health back, sort of to something that's manageable and not real debilitating. So I'm just wondering, was there, like, how did you manage that sort of the mental battle? You know what I mean? Because you're dealing with obviously the unknowns, and then you're dealing with sort of the emotional side, not being able to, especially you as such a people person.
Yeah. But that's why I didn't keep it in. I let it all out.
Yeah.
I didn't sit there and
let it fester.
And let it fester inside me. I just let it all out.
Oh my goodness.
Every single day. I just let it all out.
That is so good.
Like, and I do think I probably would have stopped had I had come back to Rush and been around people and there was no COVID. Like, I probably wouldn't even done it if there was no COVID.
Yeah.
But like, if I had been able to come back to Rush when I left the hospital, because friends would have come and visit, people would have been around, that kind of way. Yeah. Like on my worst days, I would have not just had, like dad and my sister there, people would have said, right, you two take a break, I'll come in for a night, or, that kind of way. Like if I was having a bad night, which I wasn't, and thankfully, touch wood, I took THC throughout the whole thing, and when I thought I was having the worst night ever, I would triple dose on THC.
And it would work.
And I would sleep for 12 hours.
Not CBD.
Oh, I take CBD during the day.
But THC.
It's a whole different kind
And
of
it would help you as well.
A whole different, yeah.
Oh, goodness.
That's why I slept. That's why I would sleep.
Oh,
I would literally look, and my sister would, like, there was one night she was in her bedroom with her boyfriend, and I'd had chemo that day, and she came in, and I was, like, getting sick, and then her boyfriend was like, I'm going to go, and she was like, I should be grand in a little while, and she just opens up the box, take an extra one of these, take 2, and I was gone in half an hour.
Oh,
and I didn't wake up till like 10 or 11 o'clock the next day.
What?
Yeah.
I wish. What was in these tablets? Because if I could,
pure THC.
If I don't know, anytime me and smoking weed at night time, I suppose you were eating it. Maybe there's something different. Actually, I've had it.
It's in a tablet.
Was it a special? Like, was it called Sleepy Sleepy Stony Smooky Smook?
No, this was gotten and done.
Was it made for sleeping?
Or was it just to get you high?
Yeah. But for you,
that's why that was the purpose of why I took it. Yeah, and I sat on my stomach as well. Like when I feel like I was getting sick, I'd do that. I used to keep dry crackers beside the bed, so I used to wake up, you may be real dry. Like Jacob's cream crackers.
Oh my goodness!
But it worked for me, and I used to wake up starving. Whereas sometimes you wouldn't want to eat. Whereas I used to take one of these and just give me all the food.
Oh, that's amazing.
So I'd just drink smoothies, eat eggs, like do all as much as I could of the right things.
It's very difficult to kind of have an appetite.
Exactly.
Going through all that stuff. But I would love, for me, my experience with weed, it doesn't make me sleepy. Well, it makes me it makes my brain go into overdrive. Okay. Maybe there's a special type of weed. I'll sit there in bed and I'll just be planning.
Are you smoking CBD? I don't smoke CBD now. I still smoke now, but I only smoke a couple of times a week.
Just normal weed, you know what I mean? I've had CBD drops and stuff like that. I've experimented, but with going to bed stoned, like I never go to sleep. I'm just too like neurotic, or it doesn't even have to be negative thoughts. It's actually just like thinking. Just thinking. It's hard to turn it off, you know what I mean? I'd love to be able to just.
And not in total office, I just switch.
And some people are.
If I've had a hectic day, like I don't, there's no tobacco that I put in the skins.
Yeah.
I'm saying like I do not roll.
Yo, roll them skins,
dog. I do not do that. I do not.
White people talking about their weed game, yo.
And I just have a little small one.
Yeah.
There's no tobacco because obviously I wouldn't put that in, like.
Yeah.
And get a little bit of a munch on.
Lovely.
And then just fall asleep.
And have you continued your escapades into marijuana still?
Yeah, I think it's great.
I think it's
great. It's right.
I'm stoned right now.
When I get period cramps and all, I feel like feck taking medication, just smoke it.
Well, it has such a positive impact then.
Well, yeah, but like, you know, I'm not going around smoking it during the day and being baked.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Like, I would not be able to function.
No.
But I don't think that there's anything wrong with saying that you take it to relax.
Oh, yeah. It's 2022. I mean, like we've all. There's probably some outdated ideas in the older generations, but I mean, it's pretty obvious that.
Like, don't go like blow a load of money, or like it's not. I could stop smoking it tomorrow.
Yeah.
But then, come the end of the month, I'll be in bits with cramps, and I'll just say, okay, I'll have a little bit.
Oh man.
Like I don't feel the need to have it. It's not something that I need to go every single day. I need to have it. I can go 2, 3.
Night time, whatever.
I could go a couple of months without having it. Like it's not a big thing, but I don't have zero issues. It's mad because before I used to hate it, like growing up and all, but I just couldn't tell you why. Like, but then at the same time, now I'm the total opposite. Like,
it's like smoke weed every 3 months.
Okay.
Yeah, but with
only on the weekends.
Yeah, all right. We're not. Everyone has to make their own decisions of what to do. But because when I was younger with weed, it used to just be it used to be a time wasting thing. You know what I mean? We'd all get together. We'd all like go like 4 ways on a 50. We'd all that whole thing. What kept us motivated and gave us something to do was trying to get weed and trying to smoke weed and just sit there playing cards.
And where were you getting your 15 quid to get?
Yeah, like you know what I mean. Just great. Like someone you're gonna go 650 with someone or and I can see it can become it makes you kind of okay with being bored in a way. You know what I mean? So I think if you need other stuff to be doing,
100%.
and then it because you can procrastinate with it, and you can be filling voids, or not even filling voids. It just becomes the thing that you do, and then it's all you do. Which is dangerous. And then obviously the strength, especially these days. You seem to be having a great time I've had some horrendous, great experiences overall that I survived them and came out. But like I had a really bad experience with edibles where.
I was just gonna say, I bet you're talking about an edible.
Yeah.
Me and edibles aren't friends.
Yeah. Okay.
So you know.
Like, all right.
I'm not even gonna go into any more detail.
Yeah.
Okay.
Say no more.
But like,
be careful with the edibles. It's a different thing.
This is not a drug pusher conversation.
No.
This is just like.
No, responsible use. I'm telling you, don't be careful with that dosage.
Facts. It's straight facts.
We don't need to get into it, but I went into I had severe psychosis for like a whole day, and I think it kind of helped trigger like the hypochondria in a way. The hypochondria was already there, but it just kind of helped push it a bit forward. You know what I mean? But anyway, so look, good for some things. It's not good for some other things.
It's not good for
but
medicinal purposes.
I'm
going to call it.
Yeah, I'm in remission, but I gotta keep it away. And so what else did you do that you felt helped? That was kind of outside the box of normal medical knowledge. Or whatever.
I gave up jellies, sugar.
Oh.
And it's like just the small things. Now that was hard for me. My brother immediately was like, "No sugar," but like I automatically cut you. I love sweets. But I don't like not chocolate and all that stuff. Just jellies.
Yeah.
Put them in the freezer. Have one or two.
What is this?
The flavors last longer. Like don't even just
frozen
try it.
jellies.
Yeah. Try it.
So what? You
and then I need the verdict.
And then straight in.
Well, you put the bag or the jar in the freezer. You open it up. You have one or two.
Jar. Like I was thinking a little bag.
Haven't you heard of the Sweet King, the 1 kilo bags? So you give them a shake, Or you go into the pound shop or Tesco's. You get all the little jellies and throw it in. And you make a big concoction.
All right, I need to step up my jelly game.
You need to step up your jelly game.
So you gave up jellies.
I gave them up. Back on them.
Yeah, back on. Hoping straight up to that fucking jar.
But like would have green smoothies. Fruit smoothies, loads of protein, ate pretty well. Though but the day I got chemo, every time I'd get a Camille takeaway. It was probably the worst thing I would do. It was just like get a Camille Thai.
You need something.
Thai green curry every time I do, and it was lovely.
Thai green curry with brown from Camille.
Yeah, with brown rice.
That's like a healthy cheat meal.
But that was like the worst thing I would do. Like,
oh my god.
But like even when I go in for chemo, like you can get dinner there. Like they served up a roast beef dinner. If I smell a roast beef dinner one more time. Every time I went in for chemo, but I'd bring 2 different smoothies, green smoothie, fruit smoothie, and then I'd bring like my own food, like I'd make fresh bagels and like, but that would be very much the focus. I was just high protein, minimum sugar. Went on to the decaf coffees as your brother suggested.
Yeah.
Back in the day when I was like, fine.
That's hilarious.
Take that one, but it still tasted the same. It's fine. Now back on the caffeine.
Yeah. I'm
busy
back
woman.
on hard.
Busy woman.
Yeah. You
need a couple of caffeine.
You need something. That's hilarious.
And I don't drink Red Bull and Monster and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But someone told me to have Red Bull before an exam. So I had a half can and I was like that.
Oh,
and I was like, why did I do that? And it wasn't even sugar free. Like
I had a horrendous when I was in college. I used to always see it's great when you go. Well, it seems that it's great when you go back later because you're much more you take it much more serious. You know what I mean? Whereas me, I was always cramming and trying to get by with as little work as possible and just hoping to get enough. How do I get enough? And not thinking, what am I going to get out of this course? And I could have got so much more. But one time, my dad, because he had cancer as well, and he got prescribed Ritalin to deal with like the sort of mental thing. I don't know what it was, but I was taking fucking Ritalin, studying, going into exams with these Red Bulls. Right, I remember I thought for some reason, right, I thought taking Ritalin and drink, and they weren't even Red Bulls. Spar used to sell these Bear energy drinks.
They still sell them.
Yeah, they still sell them. So I was in there, right, about to start my exam. My hands shake, and I have to go to the bathroom, and I'm like, this is a massive mistake. Like, I think I'm gonna fucking die here. Like, I'm just like freaking out. So you can take a Red Bull. You know what I mean? It's fine.
Yeah. No, I enjoy a Fanta. I love a Fanta now.
I love the fizz.
I love the fizz.
Fizz kickback. There's nothing
I
like...
love the fizz. I like a can of Fanta now with a slice of pizza is life.
Yeah. Oh,
Bit of garlic
Fanta's
sauce.
nice. I'm always going for kind of I'm a Coke Zero kind of guy now.
No, I like Coke Zero,
Yeah.
but at the same time, it doesn't give me the hit. Unless you have it on like ice, cold ice, and the can has to come out of the fridge and it's been there for 2 days, like that kind of.
Your
cold.
fridge game is not unmatched. But anyway, so you did it, like you were looking after yourself. You were doing like as much as you could that was in your hands.
I was walking.
As
much as I could.
Yeah.
And I was getting out and about.
It's weird because just going back to
trying to live normal on my good days.
Yeah, because you're thinking, Jesus, how can I give myself the best chance? I suppose.
And the reason why I chose to do and start a degree in the middle of treatment, or was about 2 months into treatment when I started. Yeah, that's right, because I lost my hair, and then the week after I started college, and I was having short-term memory loss, so I was forgetting things all the time, and it wasn't past memories. It was like things that were happening in everyday life, and that's when this came in handy. Appointments. Do you know what I mean? All these small things, and that's when I actually feel like I got better at it. Was scheduling and everything. Yeah.
So you had to leave messages for your remembrance now.
Yeah, and then I get a thing on my phone going, what? Like this one time I was like, take my tablets. So I went upstairs, took my tablets, came downstairs, went back upstairs, came back down.
Did you ever see Memento?
The tablets are out of the box, and I just
there's a great movie that's built around this concept. He can only remember the last 30 seconds or a minute, so he's always leaving himself notes. He's trying to. It's crazy, but you just sound like you had a system.
It wasn't like that. I didn't like it, and then the minute I started using my brain again, because I'm not in work, I'm not doing anything. The most I got was I was researching what I was going through. Do you know what I mean? And then I was like, okay, I just live in this bubble of being sick. So go back to college. Best thing I ever did. Brain started coming back. Memory was so much better. You know, like my brother noticed a little bit when he came home for Christmas from America. He noticed a little bit in me still. And then I was like, Jesus, imagine what I'd have been like if I hadn't gone back and started exercising my brain again. Because I think it's important to do that.
100%. Do you know
what I mean?
Yeah, it's like
you turn the TV on and get lost into about... Which used to do that on my bad weeks. Like, don't get me wrong. I would literally sit and watch. I think there was one time I watched 72 episodes of Grey's Anatomy or something. And
love Grey's Anatomy.
It was crazy. Like, and I crushed out Desperate Housewives, the whole thing, in like 2 weeks.
But this is like, in fairness, it's like your golden opportunity to do something like that.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Definitely.
Everything is on hold.
But part of me was like, people have been doing this whole pandemic,
yeah.
And I gotta go get wiped out in order to watch a season.
But that's hilarious.
Well, that's what it was like.
To
start doing everything everyone was doing on TikTok and all, I was like, Grant, it's my turn to bake brown bread.
That's so funny.
Like, literally.
I actually think that's why I think I work a lot harder now. I do have some things. I like watching films. I don't watch many. I'm watching Better Call Saul actually, which is.
Oh, I just finished Breaking Bad again.
Oh, you need to start watching Better Call Saul.
Yeah, but at the minute I'm hooked into House. I just start watching that on Sunday, and now I'm like, have to watch an episode.
I know, but Better Call Saul is like a weekly thing. But I notice if I get into a series, I use that to procrastinate. So I like movies. I love watching stuff. You know what I mean? I love documentaries. So I love little one shot kind of deals because I think when I was younger, I feel that I was much more just doing and watching and playing. And all sorts of stuff that like was not, because I didn't know what to be doing in a way, you know what I mean? But I had enough of that time of chilling and being a vegetable to like, all right, now is the time where, you know, I'm not going to be a vegetable unless, oh God forbid, I actually become a vegetable. That'll be funny. We'll all look back with this and have a good laugh.
Your energy wouldn't let you.
You stupid bitch! Look at you now, like you're a vegetable. But
no, that's not funny. Touching wood.
No. Touching wood isn't going to help anything. Or maybe it will.
Well, what are they called? They're things. They're myths. They're things you follow. You'll do it anyway.
Yeah.
Right?
I know. You might as well touch wood. But why not make it easier? Touch face. Maybe not, because you'll probably...
Well, that's why I touch my head.
Touch head.
My half brain.
Because you're like, oh no, I can't find wood. my man's gonna die, whatever, or like whatever it is. Oh no, that's why she died. No, anyway, that's terrible. But I didn't. If I hadn't touched that
wood, like I'll run out there and touch that tree.
You know what I mean? Why don't we? Because all right, this is with myths and stuff. Like touching wood. I'm not sure how that would have came about, but I can understand. Right, break a mirror, bad luck for 7 years, because that's what you tell a child.
Yeah.
Because you don't want them to break the mirror, right? So that mirror will give you bad luck and your whole family will die if you break that mirror, right? Or walk under a ladder. I bet you some lad was just pissed off. People kept walking under. It's like, that's bad luck. You know what I mean? So these things kind of come about. But, so what I'm trying to, I get into my habit now of creating my own luck. I do, everything is basically good luck for me. You know what I mean? This table is a good luck charm.
Yeah.
And this mic, do that, that's 3 times, that's good luck. Because it's all kind of...
3 times. Did you get that from Sonny?
I don't know. No, I need to watch more of that. But we're actually we're in control, I think, of how we perceive how lucky we are in a way. You know what I mean? Because if you think you're lucky, and I'm sure, like in your case, it could be like... I'm sure now that you've come through it, it feels like, okay, that... There's probably... Well... I suppose I should ask you, like, what after coming through all this and finally getting to remission, what did you take away from the journey in relation to...
Well, you're still on it.
You're still on it,
You're still on it. Like, I'm there every 3 months. Like, I still have after effects just because that part of it's gone and the worst part's over, like... you still have, like, I have... My sciatica is... That's why I keep moving on this chair now. I'm so uncomfortable.
What's sciatica?
You don't know what sciatica is?
No.
It's like a nerve from like your back and it goes the whole way down the left side. Like,
I should have.
Sciatic pain is awful, like. But like I have that, and then you get different pains, you get different lumps, you get tired. Like there's so many different things, and then I just get an all clear every 3 months. And so like I got mine yesterday. Got to poke, and he was poking me. I'm like, what a day! Like after playing a match on Monday night, I was like, keep poking me. Like it was every muscle hurt. Like he's like, does that hurt? I'm like, yeah.
So you're still getting called in for tests.
I go every 3 months. That's just it.
And
that's my life.
How are you? That just freaks me out.
Your effects that you have things in your head. Then like radiation, I got it right there. You just sign a waiver just so you know radiation can cause breast cancer. So now in a couple of years' time, I have to start getting mammograms for the rest of my life. I get cervical checks for the rest of my life. I don't look at it as like, oh God, I have to go and do all these things. It's just like part of it. I'm just lucky because if that never happens to me again in the future, they're going to catch it like that.
Yeah, you're like VIP.
Do you know that kind of way? And that's just it. Yeah, exactly. When you have like past medical records.
Yeah.
But I'll never forget one day I went into A&E when I was crippled over my back and I had chemo and I wasn't well and I sat in a chair and only a girl from Rush Bridget, she had been a nurse there and your woman was like, do you have any medical history? And I was like, is it not coming up on your computer system? She's like, no. I was like...
You're such a big cancer.
I was like, yeah. So I was like, here we go. And she was like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. And then I gave her my doctor's name and literally I've never seen people rush down so fast and look after me, that kind of way.
Hilarious.
But like, yes, the sense for the rest of my life, I'm going to have to do all these things to make sure that I don't get sick again or... I can look after it a little bit better or monitor myself a little bit better.
Yeah.
That part of it's over, but like you're still on the journey. You're dealing with other stuff.
But in terms of just in terms of like your sort of philosophy or view on life, like what's the difference between the sort of Geniele like pre-diagnosis, pre any medical like worries or anything versus the Geniele that's sitting here now with a sore back.
I honestly just, and I've only learned this lesson probably this side of Christmas, is just, if you like, but I was listening to yourself, you call yourself selfish earlier on, whereas I've actually just become that. I say no to a lot of things. I realize that if I have done too much in a week, I will take a day off, not even have my phone in my hand, and just turn off and switch off and enjoy and not doing anything because you don't have to.
Yeah.
You don't have to be like up mountain every Saturday. You don't have to be like walking a 10K on a Sunday and hitting the gym 3 times a week. And like, don't get me wrong, I still like to be doing those things.
Yeah.
But like in moderation, it's coming into the summer now. I will do more of that and I will not do that in the winter. So I value my time. I've become a little bit more selfish with saying no to a lot of things. and I just stop worrying about other people's feelings and just worry about myself. I'm not going out to hurt people and be like, I don't care about your feelings. It's okay. It's you can't narrow the fact of how you say no or not being present is going to make someone else feel, because if you're taking care of yourself in the process, why make yourself feel bad for looking after yourself? Whereas before I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't look after myself. I would, but I wouldn't do it the way I should have been doing it.
Yeah, you should have been putting yourself first in a way.
All the time.
Yeah.
We should be putting
100%.
ourselves first.
Yeah.
All the time. You worry so much about everybody else around you, like, and everyone's there. No one's going anywhere. We had this conversation before we turned the podcast on. You think you fall out with friends or you're not around friends anymore, but the moment something big is there, they want you by your side. And you want them by your side. It's not that you fall out with friends and all. It's like we're getting older now. Like I have so many dynamic group of friends. Like I have a group of friends. One of my friends is 50. I have my friends that I grew up with life who are all getting married now. They have kids or having kids, building houses, buying houses. Like I look at their lives and I'm so happy for them, you know. And like we only get to meet up once every 2 months now, but that's just the way it is.
Yeah.
Like schedules don't align, and that's normal. Kids get sick, things happen. Like things fall off the radiator. But we know that we're always there for each other, and we communicate with each other every single week. Yeah. It doesn't have to be physical, but like we're there. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? And if something is gone like that, we're by each other's sides. And that's just the way it is. I have, like last year, I was a bit lost. Do you know what I mean? At the beginning of the year, I'd gone through everything I'd gone through and all these things happened. And then they announced they're doing a football team in Rush. And I was like, I'm in. I'm going in. I'm going into it. I want to get involved in organising it and pulling people together and like creating a big group, because it's so good to have like good people around you all the time. So now I have like all of these women, and they're great women, and everyone's going through different stages of life, and they're young and they're older, the same age, like they have kids or they're just ready to go out and have fun. Like they're 23 years of age and they're like, let's go mad. And I go mad and I can't keep up and I have to go home to bed. But it's a nice dynamic. I can go out for like dinner and drinks, or I can like go back and like, you know, there's so many different things that you can do. Like,
the whole landscape of like the world is at your fingertips.
But I wish I knew when I was in my early 20s that saying no to a night out was grand. Yeah. Now I say no to so many, and I'm like, it's okay to do. Like,
it's okay to say no, but it's like that's what I was talking about before. It's like when someone comes to you and says, when they ask you, this sort of, I feel like if I want to say no, I won't. I'll just be like, I don't want to let this person down in a way. But if I ask someone to do something and they told me no, I'd be like, great, because like obviously I don't want you to do it if you don't want to do it. Yeah. So if it's like, and then I'll nearly always I even hate asking people to do things and this is a negative side, right? Because let's say I'd be like, oh, it'd be great if we could organise something to like Carntoohil or we did Carntoohil actually. Sorry, what's the other one? In Mayo, the one Crow Patrick. Like, now we are going to organise something there, but it's
tell me, will you? I'm dying to do Crow Patrick.
Oh, let's get the group together.
Wanted to do it on, I can't remember, on one of the anniversaries in February. And I was like, I don't want to hike a mountain in the rain. Yeah. I don't go up Crow Patrick in the rain. I was like, I'm going to wait till summertime. Get the train down. Yeah. Because I have a free transport ticket now for a few years. So.
Oh, and what?
It's plus companions. So,
oh, what? Yeah. I'll come with Geniele.
Get the free train.
We're on the Geniele train, baby. How many people can you get in on this?
Just me and one other.
Okay.
So
I have boyfriend now, you know what I mean? I could be your child or something.
Yes. Huh?
I could be your little...
Yeah, you can be like, just shave your hair off. Like, some child. Like.
Yeah, no, but then, like, in that instance, right, there is, like, that's not a big one, but if I feel that I'm going to put someone out in any way, like, they're going to have to fit me into their schedule, I almost feel like, I know, and, like, I'd rather not, and it's a terrible way, because, like, I have other friends that will ask, and they'll ask, because why not? If they love planning stuff, and they love doing things.
But if everybody says no, why not go on your own?
In what way?
If you want to go on a hike, no one wants to go. Why just?
Well, no, it's not even right. It's not the hike.
Anything.
It's just like I kind of put my perception of what it's like to be asked to do things onto people. Okay. In a way. So then I'm like, I don't want to be asking people because I don't want them to be like, have to work out. Like my brother, like he's, I'm always asking him to do things, but he is flat out working now. You know what I mean? And like he's trying to build a business, so you have to kind of be strict with your time. But the amount of times I've asked him, and then he'd have to say no, and it kind of starts like, well, how many? I'm just gonna have to, like, if something comes up again, do I ask again? You know what I mean?
Note to self, Sean, take a break.
No, yeah. No,
Give
it's like,
yourself a day off.
but he has to do whatever he has to do.
He does,
you know what I mean?
yeah, no, then that's fair. But like, how many times have you said no because you're doing all this and you're building this and you're going out into,
I know,
you're busking and you're, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
you're going to say no, and it's going to be back and forth.
I know, but then when you start, like, if someone starts saying no, it's like, well, is there a point in even like asking them again? You know what I mean? And then that's a bad place because you kind of don't want that either. You know what I mean? So you need to like, for me, I need to say yes to enough things that I'm not because I want to be invited to things. I want to go to things. You know what I mean? I don't want to be like someone that you can't ask to do things. You know what I mean? And it's great, but there's a balance. You know what I mean? To be okay. It's okay for me to say no, and I need to put myself forward because I can imagine you, like, maybe before this, but the kind of person you are, it's just like you probably just like do. If I said I need help, like fucking changing my tire or something, you'd be like, yeah, it's great. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
I am still like that.
Yeah,
like, it is very much like
know.
that. My brother will ring me, and I could be relaxing watching a movie, you know, and he could ring and say, I'm at home with the baby and, like, you know, it's raining and his girlfriend needs to lift home from work.
Yeah.
I'm going to leave. I'm going to pick her up. I'm in rush.
Yeah.
I'm going to bring her home. Do you know that kind of way? But like these are just things that you'll always do because
there's a limit.
It's the people you care about, people who are close to you, like
the people that will do it for you.
Exactly, like they're gonna do it back.
Yeah,
and that's just the way it is.
Yeah, I think that's a good metric is like, would this person, and sometimes, let's say if we were in a situation where I had loads of money and you didn't have loads of money. But you needed money, let's say.
Are you in that situation now?
No, well, we'll talk right after this break. But so then it would be the case that, okay, I know that you do the same for me if you were stuck.
Oh, yeah.
So I'll help you out, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But what you have to be careful is especially with money, because I've got burned with this, is that you have to be sure that they do it for you in a similar way and that they're not just kind of leeching off you in a way and kind of taking advantage. You kind of learn through experience who's genuinely worried about kind of like who'll be worried to ask you for money. When it comes down to it, they're like, I know this is terrible, but I'm really stuck, or I'm really stuck, I need this favour. Because it's not like they're asking for favours all the time. It's like when it's right, I need help here, like, so will you help me? Then it's like, okay, fine. But you just have to be always kind of aware, like, well, not always aware. You need to just learn quickly which of the people in your life are more likely going to take advantage of your good nature, or not even good nature, just your reciprocal nature, the fact that you will kind of help. And then when you start helping someone once, especially with money, it can be like, it gets easy to keep the money train going because you're already in for a pound, in for a penny, whatever it is.
Yeah, it's fair, but like money, it doesn't really mean much. Time.
Yeah.
You're giving your time to someone if they have an issue, like it's so much more valuable than giving someone money.
Oh yeah.
You know.
Yeah, here's 20 quid there.
Yeah.
I know.
Like, that's just
cheer up.
That's like throwing a stone for a dog,
Yeah.
or just like throwing a ball for a dog, because it's giving them a fix right away.
Yeah.
Like, but you're not helping them.
The fix is that
you're not helping them.
They need to pay a loan or something. Like, you know what I mean? Some fixes are money related.
They
right?
decided to take it out.
Oh, come on, we go. No. No, but it is. You're right. Time, giving people time, and it's such a beautiful thing. When, because I love when any of my close friends ask me for something, I know that it's like one of these things that like they need help with. It's not just like a fucking frivolous thing. I love helping because I love being there, and I'm just like, I get to show them how I'll always be there. I'll always be there for this person. And now they'll know that more now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
When push comes to shove. So, there is that kind of, you know, there's definitely positives with it. You know what I mean? But you just have to be I'm just literally speaking of one thing that's in fresh in my head that I won't get into.
No.
But we say
quit while we're ahead.
We'll say no more. We'll come back to a topic that we're both familiar with. Probably is hair.
Yeah.
I mean, you're probably a little getting there now. You're really matching me.
You're getting there.
What was it like when you started losing your hair?
Honestly, I was like, the first instincts, you're like a bit shocked. Like you're washing your hair, it's coming out in the shower, it's coming in the sink, and you're like, right, okay. But I immediately went to my hairdresser Tina, and I was like, chop it. She was like, chop it. I was like, chop it. She was like, to like here. I was like, chop it, like up here, make it easily managed, so less falls out, because your hair mats. And I had so much of it. It was just matting and matting and matting. Ugh. So then when I got it to here, but it got so painful being in my head. So I was actually relieved when it came off.
Yeah.
Yeah, I asked the question 5 times, like in about 3 days, was my hair falling out? You know? And they couldn't tell me until they gave me the chemo that they were giving me. And then when I looked up the ingredients of each chemo that I was getting, and then looked up what those ingredients each were, like 90% of all of them was like hair loss.
Oh my goodness.
So I said I accepted it.
Yeah.
And I moved on. So I knew it was coming out.
That's how you deal with it.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? You have to kind of, especially when it's something that you're not really in control over.
But I'm glad that that's the way it came out. Like I used to have so much hair. I'd be too afraid to cut it. Like it was always big and it was always long and all that. Like I would have never got to see myself with a hairstyle like this and be like, I actually really like my hair. Like
this. I think you look like you've had the best
like
hairstyles ever.
I've like just gone.
There's something about these little things that you're doing with all these little accessories that make you just look class.
My bow.
Yeah. It's like, it's a real cool thing that you can now do.
Well, they're just so lucky that Penny sold them for €3 when I lost my hair. And I'm going to be genuinely honest, I don't know if Penny's ever sold bows before.
That's hilarious.
These came in and I was like, well, that's nice.
One thing is going your way.
And then that was it. And I literally have a whole drawer full, every single colour you name it's in the drawer. Like,
wow. Yeah. So you're ready for all occasions.
Yeah, exactly.
You have your sports one, your blah, blah, blah.
That's
so cool. It's something you can get into.
Yeah, but that's what it is. Yeah, and I wear the red one when I'm going on a night out. I had red lips and a black outfit. Like it's just what I do. Like but it's getting to a point like it's in a little ponytail now.
And what do you think you're gonna keep growing it?
We'll see how it goes. But I'm liking it at the moment. It's at a point now where I can straighten it. Yeah. And like have a little fringe or like curled fringe.
That little curl. How's that happening?
That's just natural.
Oh, that's crazy.
Just comes in a ring.
That's a great little.
Yeah, it's great to see me in the morning.
You're like a modern.
I am like it
little
comes up like this.
Or like, you know what I mean? Like the shepherd, the strong shepherd woman.
Sometimes did you wake up and I do like, and it's just boom.
Yeah.
Like it's wild.
That's hilarious.
I feel like I get a few inches this summer though in the hair. Like so.
That's what she said.
Sorry.
Okay. Shout out to Janelle's boyfriend. No.
No.
I'm not. Don't hit me.
Please, thank you.
But
no.
Do you have one for football? Are you now wearing one for football?
I wear a red one.
Oh, that's class.
Yeah, I wear a red one. I got it last year. I saw black one and pennies and I went to get together because I want to bind the two of them together because black and red is the colours.
Oh.
Yeah.
You're like the most stylish on the pitch.
Fell off me on Monday night though.
Oh no.
And one of the girls came running after me like, Janelle.
Just all mucky.
Well, like I wrapped it around my wrist. I was like, okay, maybe it's time to let go of the bows.
That's hilarious.
Get a sweatband or something.
So did you play football when you were younger?
Yeah, in my teens.
Oh,
like early teens. I played it when I was a kid. Back when it was like mixed boys and girls. Played it in school, and then didn't play it for and now I just love that it's like this. Yeah. It's like 2-3 days a week. You know, it's a group of all different women get together. You train, we play a match. Like we came second in our league last season. It was great to get promoted into a new league. Like it's that whole diversity
thing
of it. I'm now like part of the committee, so I'm on the committee of the actual football club. Like just couldn't just join team.
What? The committee? What does that mean?
There's a committee like runs the club together. Like so, I do the social media and like I'd be like a voice on the committee for the ladies teams. If they like we have a group chat on WhatsApp. If they have any questions that they need answered, I take it to the committee and do all that kind of stuff. And if they need any help with anything, we have meetings every month.
So you're getting nice and involved.
Take the minutes and send them out.
So this is what I've realised about football over the last few years, just from watching and supporting the local team, more in Celtic, really mainly. Sean actually went back. He played a few games.
Oh, did he?
Yeah, it was. But it's much more bigger than football. It's like this whole social thing. You know what I mean?
Oh, massive. Our girls are crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
My girls are crazy.
Girls. But like we get worried now. We get worried going out. It's like, oh shit. Like, right, we're going out together. Like, the next big one is a dinner dance the club are having on June 17th. It's like, you know, formal gowns, but all the lads are going to be there, the 14s as well. So
Whoop, whoop.
it's going to be like
The modern day Tinder.
but like Friday. What?
No joking. It's probably a better play. It's probably way better than Tinder.
My boyfriend plays for one of the teams, but that was just coincidence. I didn't know that until like after the fact.
Yeah.
So, but like, yeah, we're gonna hook some of the single ladies up with some of the single lads. Why not?
Why not as well?
Who
And
cares?
it's like, 'cause it's
We're
not
all adults.
Yeah, and it means that because Tinder can just be so horrendous.
Let's get into that.
Yeah, well, I this is terrible because I've come in and out of Tinder like so many times and dating apps, and you know, sometimes the last time a while ago I actually met my girlfriend Amy on it, so I always was thinking it's great that people. It is now. This is a good positive side of it, right? There's a chance. And then my friend Fernando is after meeting the love of his life, it seems, on it, and she's so good. She's so cool. So there's a chance of meeting someone that you would have never ever met in a million years through it, right? There's a positive side to it, but it depends on what you're after. Because I remember one time I got burned on Tinder, and then I kind of went and I was like, well, what am I doing wrong? And I started getting into sort of like pick up and all this, like, trying to educate myself on like the strategies and best ways of dealing with it. And one thing I took away from it was that I was being too needy in general. Like I was too, I need this person. Why didn't she text him back? Why isn't this? Like I was too invested in like the neediness of it. So the big thing I took away is like, it doesn't matter what the outcome doesn't matter. Like it's just like whatever, not texting back, it doesn't matter. It's just like you had to kind of sort of become numb, like in a way, which is kind of good and bad. But it's the whole game of Tinder is you have to kind of, you can't get too invested emotionally, especially in the beginning, and especially when you don't know. It's like a job interview. You don't know if you're going to get a job. Anyway, right. So what I'll say is, then I went into pickup way, and then I thought, okay, I'm not going to look for a relationship. I'm just going to like date and see, you know, I need to satisfy my needs as a man, right? And then I ended up like, then I had to kind of lie, right? Because you can't really basically tell a girl that you're not looking for something serious, I think, straight. Well, maybe you can, right? But then where's that going to go? You know what I mean? So you kind of have to, like, even though I knew that it wasn't looking for something serious, like, it wasn't loads. There was like 2 girls that, like, I remember, anyway, I won't get too into it. I could, but I'll just say that I found the experience to be very sort of a soulless endeavor when I realized that, you know, I wasn't like, let's say right, I ended up sleeping with one of them, right, and then after we're just lying there, and I'm just thinking, what was that for? Like that was like, I'm not interested in this person at all, and that's all it was for. And I thought it was going to give me this sense of a bit nicer feeling than it did, and then I realized like it just was. That's not for me. That's not how I can pursue it, because you have to lie. I'm basically lying to this person. So then I kind of came back from it, and then I actually got with a girl for a while. But now I'm I'm not interested in pursuing at the moment. But like, you know, I need to satisfy my needs.
But whatever happened to meeting people normally,
I know.
organically?
Yeah.
Like, I don't like the apps. I went off them last May, I'll say.
What didn't you like about it?
Maybe April.
Like, you're an attractive girl, so I feel like...
Well,
I don't know how it works.
All my friends were in relationships and, like, doing all that stuff. So I was like, well, I'm going to go and date. So I just started finding someone to go, like, I'm like, let's go and do this, or let's go and do that. Something that I wanted to do that I didn't want to do on my own.
Yeah.
And I was like, what is the point in this? Because I might spend a couple of dates with someone. And then be like, I'm just wasting this.
You're just wasting someone's time.
But then you're like, okay, no, I'm going to give it a chance and see if you actually like them. But then you don't.
Yeah.
And then you're like, right, okay, well, that was pointless.
And then you have to have
that conversation.
You have to end it. That's the worst.
Like you do, like, and it's fine. But then I was just like, no. And I always just saying, that's it. Like, not going on a date again online. I said, I will go if it happens face to face. If someone comes up to me and says, can I have your number? Or let's go for this or let's go for that. Yeah. And then I found that didn't happen.
Yeah.
So I was like, all right.
Waiting, like, come on.
There are two people. Like, but then why should a woman sit around and wait? Why can't a woman ask?
100%.
Why can't you go and ask?
Yeah, it'd be a lot easier if women went around and asked.
Yeah, so you just put yourself out there and ask someone for coffee, and then it works.
No way. So is that how did you meet your current?
Well, like I worked in Walsh's, so like there's a big dynamic group of people out there, and then we just asked. I was like, "How do you feel like going for a coffee?" And
legends.
we were both quite busy at the time.
Yeah.
And then we went for a coffee and literally best friends. The end.
That's class. It's over. Now that's also something I was experimenting when I was going into the pickup, because approaching women is something that.
But what kind of women do you approach? Older women, younger women, women the same age?
I just think women like who are legal. No, what I mean is like. So it's actually hard. I think I have a real embedded fear of kind of rejection because. Even there's been times where in my past now I think I had way less self-confidence like when my teeth were crooked and stuff, and I didn't have kind of a good like positive image of myself. So then I wasn't like even in my loose I won't get into that actually. I was going to talk about something else, but I've been in situations where it's like, oh, this is so obviously on, like we're both having a great time. And I just can't make the move because I'm just like, just make the move.
But you have to make a move, or do you just have to just be like, we should swap numbers and go for a drink on our own sometime if you're at a party? I just let it go
because I'm just a little so weak, and I'm just keeping it friendly, even though I'm not trying. I'm hoping. No, I'm not like this is the old me.
Okay.
So I'm hoping. Now I have been more forward in more situations now. And I went into town once with these two other lads. I won't mention who, right? They're not in Skerries, not even in this. They're like out of town. It's okay,
you don't need to stick up for anybody.
But we wanted to get better because I approaching girls randomly, or not even randomly, but just to say, how are you getting? Like, it should be easy. Like it should be easy, but imagine you just had the ability to just go talk to anybody, right? But yeah, when it comes to girls, or just, even not in general. So one thing we did as an experiment was try to just ask fake directions to people on Grafton Street, right? So, and like,
please tell me you recorded this.
No, but this is how right. This is where anything, right? You work on the smallest increment thing you can do, right? So if I wanted to be able to just approach any woman, talk to her, and like if I'm interested in her, like see what happens with it, and obviously. It's a numbers game, I think, in that sense. You know what I mean? You kind of, if you don't, you have to be in it to win it, right? So, but if I can't be comfortable and have a conversation in general, and if I'm too nervous about it, then I need to kind of expose myself to situations where I'm doing it. So that was one of the things. Like it's like and even that was hard. Like you think, oh yeah, but you have to say, do you know where? Even that was difficult for me.
Yeah.
But that kind of, and I remember I did it once. And I gave one girl a compliment, and when I gave a girl a compliment, I was so happy with myself. I was like, I can't believe I just gave some random girl a compliment, and it made me feel.
You probably made her day.
That was it. It was a massive thing for me because I never even showing interest in women is not something that I'm comfortable with doing in a way, and it's kind of hard. I need to, obviously, if I'm hoping in real life to that's where you do meet someone, you know what I mean? Or, because you have kind of common interests, maybe you're in some similar circles. Who knows? But if you can't approach and show your intent, like you can talk to a woman, you know what I mean? But then you have to kind of, you have to show that you're actually interested in more than just kind of a business relationship or a friendship, you know what I mean? And to do that, then you kind of have to be flirty. You have to kind of step into another box, which is something that I've never been able to kind of do comfortably, you know what I mean? So that's something that I'm trying to. So yeah, I think meeting in real life is a much better way.
Yeah, but when I like met my boyfriend, wasn't going out to meet somebody, do you know? Just, I had a thing in my head that I was going to finish my degree and like do solo traveling in the middle of it all, and like had this sunset match that I was like, I wasn't going to date anymore. Like it was just very pointless, you know. But you just said it there. It was like when you sit and you have a conversation with somebody and you immediately feel comfortable. You take that, you know, and that's just the way it happens. But that was for me. But it's everybody's journey is different.
Yeah.
You don't know, like.
You don't know.
You haven't a clue.
Yeah.
We do try.
Yeah.
Like, we try our best.
We just try our best.
Yeah, but I was happy. Like, I was on my own for, 5-6 years? You know?
Yeah.
And it was great.
Yeah, like, I think, like, that's what I mean. I'm happy. The last relationship I was in, I genuinely thought that this is it. Like, this is the final. We're going to go off into the sunset. But then I just realised that I wasn't ready for the level of commitment that was required for that relationship, I think, you know what I mean? And so yeah, it didn't end well, but I did have positive intent. I just thought, everything is the boxes, and this is because I think I kind of go back and forth. Because I love children, I love teaching children, I love showing children things, I love just the joy of children, like Mikey's child, little Sean, like just watching him go and like trying to impart any sort of wisdom I have from me into him, even in little increments that I get to do. It's just such a cool, beautiful thing, and I think my life would be kind of I think I would regret it. You know what I mean? But I potentially have more time, like you see, I have to find somebody. You know what I mean? It doesn't matter that I don't have to worry about my, like, you know, ability to produce whatever.
Women do.
That's what I mean. Women do. So yous have which is much more of you know, yous have to fucking. There's more pressure in a way. You know what I mean? If that's something that yous want to do, then yous have to start making moves earlier potentially than I have to. Even though if I leave it too late, then who am I going to find? You know what I mean? I could just not find anybody that like is suitable. So if you're not looking...
My dad didn't have his first kid until he was like 43, so you've loads of
See, that's what I mean! So when I hear that,
70
you're not
this
doing
year.
me...
He's turning 70 this Saturday, and he's got 4 kids, 2 grandkids, and I'm sure you'll have
that's what I
more
mean.
grandkids.
So that's where I'm coming at it from.
Yeah.
But so that's actually why I felt I couldn't waste this other person's time, because I felt like, well, I can just piss away the next 5 or 6 years on doing whatever I want to do, and maybe when the time
So you let
comes,
her go because her time was ticking.
No, not because of that. That was part of it, but
okay.
Not that it ever came up in any kind of way. But I just knew that, like, where is this going? It was very intense. Like it came as a massive shock. Like when it came to an end. I don't want to get into it too much, right?
Okay.
But I'll just say that. Like how do you think about that and kids and sort of trying to find? I'm not putting pressure on, like, you're fucking soon to be whatever.
No,
like,
it's okay.
But how do you feel about that whole aspect of life in general as a woman?
It honestly doesn't worry me. Like when I was diagnosed, well, let's go back to before that. So I went off birth control when I was about 24 because it played funny with me. But like the generation of like my age, a little bit older, a little bit younger, that's when birth control came out. We were the guinea pigs.
Yeah.
Here, take this and stop yourself having kids. Okay, great.
That sounds horrific.
But that's what we did. That's what we listened. Or like I had bad acne. That's when I went on it.
Yeah.
And it was like, taste this, it clears skin, but it's also birth control, so you'll be fine. Do you know what I mean? But I was like, it isn't good, and it's not good. Like for me, then it was when I was sitting in the hospital, and the doctor told me it was too late to freeze my eggs, and I just had to go with it and go through the menopause. Wow. So that's what I did, and I just had to hope that my cycle would come back. And regardless of it did come back, and I'm very lucky, I still have zero idea what my future holds with kids. You know, and I remember there was one day I did get upset about it. I was sitting in my friend's garden, and they were there, and they had their kids all running around them, you know, and I was like, I would love this one day, you know, but then I was like, of come wallow on this. Like, you can't.
Yeah.
Like, but even I've always said it, like, I'd like to have kids when I'm like 35, 36.
Yeah.
For me, that's like 5-6 years away.
Mm.
So it's, when it comes to, and when I'm in a position that I'll want to,
Yeah.
then I will put it in my present thoughts. But it's not there because I don't wallow on it, because I'm like, it's not anywhere close to what I'm going to be on.
I don't need to be dealing with this now.
Absolutely not.
Yeah.
Why worry about something that's so far away? Like,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
So far away. I've
Yeah,
so
like-
much to do. I want to see the world. I don't want to, like, there's so
there's
much
still
traveling
stuff that
that I
needs to
haven't
be
planned.
done.
Like, I have this beautiful cruise book now in August around Italy and Greece, and then spending like 3 days in Rome afterwards. Like,
all right. Well, then, like, I suppose
Like-
women do have more time than. For some reason in my head, I'm just thinking, like, once you get out of your 20s, like, then the next woman is just going to be thinking about.
look, but everyone's different.
Yeah.
Like, some people could think about that all the time. Like, they could be like, I'm 30 and like, I don't have a boyfriend, and, you know, like, my clock's ticking and
freaking out
it's
right
going to
now.
go away. But I remember sitting having an open conversation with my friend saying, if I was still single when I was 35, 36 and I wanted to have kids, I would go and do it. You don't need a partner to have a child
exactly.
anymore. It doesn't work that way.
Yeah.
You can use your own egg. You can just go and get sperm.
Yeah.
No.
With freezing eggs, like, could you? Is that something that you could do? Even everyone can freeze. Their
Everyone,
eggs.
but I couldn't, going through my treatment. They
Oh, you
needed to
couldn't
start
do it
chemo.
then.
Chemo was going to kill the eggs. I was going to go through menopause.
Also,
and that's
before
what
that, the
happened.
option was like, it was almost it was out of your hands.
Completely.
But there, like, the being obviously, you know, a woman and having a baby and, like, you know, going through that whole process of being pregnant, it's obviously such a miracle to be able to go through as well. And it's such a crazy thing that you get to do is one way of saying it. Because it's like you are much more complicated creatures than us men. You know what I mean?
Internally.
Yeah.
In there.
Yeah.
And externally.
I know.
Like, it's everywhere. But think about it. Like, imagine a man having to grow a baby.
I know.
And go through what women go through. Like, my friends have been sick. My friends have been sick throughout 9 months of pregnancy. That to be in a drip in a hospital every week. And they're just meant to get on with it and go to work. And
these
it's
are
just
so
look
much
fat.
stronger.
Imagine a man. Like,
Man.
like, I'm not saying that all men couldn't do it. Like,
No, yeah.
But I'm just...
Your tolerance
like-
for bullshit and pain and suffering is much higher.
Probably.
Because you just had to deal with men. You know what I mean?
I know.
No,
It
I
ain't
think
that bad.
there's
Men have to deal with us, though. It's like a 50-50
Oh yeah, I know.
thing. Like, you
I'm not
can't-
saying that.
You know, we're...
But yous are the selectors of mankind. You kind of get to say, well,
Yes or
now
no,
you
like.
do. You get to decide potentially who gets to pass on their genes and who doesn't. In a way, you know what I mean?
And then there's choice, and then there's no choice.
Yeah. Well, I mean, there's that side of it as well. And obviously back in war times, like, rape and stuff was like just how, like, Genghis Khan is basically the like granddaddy of, like, the world, basically. So humans have gone through some horrific times, especially women, because men are, like, physically stronger than women. You know what I mean? So if it comes down to it, it's like, well, I can, like, use my physicality to, like, basically shut you up or make you do whatever it was. So there is that's a real negative side of our history as well. But just in terms of parenthood, you don't need to, although it's a beautiful thing to be able to do, from my perspective anyway, to be able to, you know, like, cook a little baby up in your body. It's so crazy.
It's insane.
But you can still be a parent through, I know it's not like super easy, but through, like, adoption.
Yeah.
You can still have that, because I think being a parent, it's like, it's more about parenting. You know what I mean?
Of course it is, but you can also meet someone who has kids.
Yeah.
And they're separated, or they're widowed, or whatever the case may be.
Yeah.
And you meet that person, and
You just fill that role.
you're now a parent. It's a
Yeah.
co-parenting situation between all of that. Like, that's just the way it goes. My brother is that for both my nephew and his girlfriend's daughter. My sister is that for her boyfriend and his 2 kids. One of his kids is 13 and one of his kids is 2. Do you know that kind of way? Yeah, 2, I think he is. He'll be 3 this year. But, like, that's a lot of people are like that. It's blended families. There's so many dynamics.
Yeah,
to
blended
parenting.
families.
Being a parent
Sounds
and
like something in a cookbook.
being
or
a
something.
parent and being a mother, like a father, are different.
Oh yeah, 100%.
You know, like,
Yeah.
you can produce the seed and have the baby, but neither of you have an obligation, but you should really.
100%. And
but that's a whole other story.
Yeah.
And I don't have any children, so I won't comment on it.
Yeah. My friend Mikey, actually, he's in a situation where Catherine had a child, Alicia. And Mikey and her, like, Mikey's just like, I'm owning this, you know what I mean? Which is the way to do it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Get into it. Like, if
and was around her before they had their 2 boys.
Yeah, so it's just like, it's like, if you, that's a totally other way to do it. And I love seeing, like, Mikey's really taken on, like, the role of father and family, and it's just real inspiring to see. Like, I ain't giving him a bigger head than he deserves, like, but he does deserve this one in a way.
He does.
But yeah, it's just it's a weird kind of thing then, especially when you were saying about birth control, like the idea of suppressing the miracle in a way.
But it's caused so many issues for, like, women, birth control does. Like, I would literally say to any teenager that wants to go on it because they want to have sex with their boyfriend or whatever the case may be, and they're like, I'm going to go on birth control, that stops it. Wear a condom.
Yeah.
Don't put it through your body. Like, I have friends, they're going through endometriosis and they go through all these issues that are all these new problems that are happening, all because probably we took this pill.
Yeah.
Like, okay, is there scientific facts? Like, no, we don't know. Like, I've researched the pills that I was on. I'm not going to just start saying, like, I've written things, and no, this is how much time I had when I wasn't well, like, because I was convinced. Did any of these ingredients, like, and none of them are on the market anymore. Where are they gone?
Jesus.
What have they done to
That's
people?
horrendous.
Why did they just disappear? You can't get it anymore.
I don't want to see that in a pill that you were taking.
But they're just
It's
gone.
just
like yeah, they're gone. You know, and then you have to go and research, not why they're gone, because no one's going to tell you, but like, it's like anything that comes out, you just don't know.
Yeah.
You know, that kind of way. You really don't.
It's a massive revolution for women to be able to themselves be in control of their fertility in a way, right? And obviously with that means that there's more ability to kind of plan families and not kind of get pregnant young and have to deal with it. But what are we doing when we're taking these pills that are basically preventing your body from doing what it's supposed to do in a usual situation?
Literally, you're stopping. And when you get your cycle every month, it's not real. And then you so you're going on like, don't get me wrong, I was this person. I did it when I was a teenager.
Yeah.
You'd book a holiday with your friends and you realize it's going to fall the week of your cycle.
Oh, yeah.
So you keep taking it. And all of a sudden you're 60 days. Like, we're meant to naturally do these things. And then you're stopping it. You're cutting it off. Like. And
the girl I was with for, Amy, she started getting sort of suicidal ideation when she was taking it as a teenager. And then they were just like, they didn't realise at the time, but she had real bad acne, so it was stopping her acne. So there's that part of it as well. For some reason it has some
interaction. It makes you go wacky. It throws your hormones completely off.
Yeah.
Completely off.
And it's horrendous how easily, and because there is a sense of it is empowering for women. Like, it's like similar to the like my body my choice arguments, you know what I mean? Like, why would we not want to empower women to like live the life that they want to live, because and give them the sort of freedoms that, well, men a good man obviously won't run away or whatever when the baby comes, but we do have, it's just easier for us to do, you know what I mean, unfortunately. But you know, I do think it's anything that we take, we ingest, and especially that interacts with such a sort of fundamental mechanism in our body, we have to be very careful. And like, so how long were you on it?
About 8 years.
8 years?
Yeah, no, it was 8 years. I
just people leaving on it longer.
About 8 years.
That.
No, maybe even shorter than that.
What did you notice? Like, was there any kind of red flags that made you think, I don't want to be taking it?
Well, I started taking one when I took a certain amount of prescription with me when I went abroad, like. And then I was taking one that was given to me over there that was similar to one that I was on over here. And then I was just like gaining weight, and I was like getting blotches on my skin. And I was like, no, I'm not into this.
I want this.
Yeah, I was like, I don't like this. Like,
oh my goodness. Wait, that was from the pill?
Well, I don't know, like, but
yeah.
when you go to the doctor and you're like, I'm getting this, and this, and then they're like, what have you changed recently? And I'm like, well, 3 months ago I started taking this new birth control. So then they'd be like, okay, let's get you off that one, get you on something else.
Yeah.
Another one. So I was like,
we'll just switch it up.
I'm just not going to do it, like.
Yeah, and then yeah, you just have to kind of be safer in other ways, like condoms. And then I think they actually are working on a pill for men as well that'll stop the sperm, which who knows what sort of stuff.
But that, like, I wouldn't recommend that either.
I know.
There is a non-hormonal one, and they don't
give it
to. There is a non-hormonal thing that women can get.
Yeah.
Like a coil.
The coil, yeah, Amy
but
had that.
There's non-hormonal and there's hormonal. Like,
yeah.
Do you know that kind of?
I used to love the coil. Not even messing.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
It's non-hormonal. I can't take anything hormonal anyway. Like, you know, but
yeah, the coil actually is a good
I went
option.
and looked into things and like spoke to so many doctors.
The coil has some. It works with like magnetism or something.
Copper.
Copper, yeah.
So the copper kills sperm.
The poor little sperm. It's like, yay, we're coming home. No,
thanks.
There's loads of different other ways. Oh, what other is there's the bar?
That's hormonal.
Is it?
Yes.
Oh. So the coil is the only. Well, what does the bar do?
And with that, yeah, I think you have to. Like, I was allowed to get it. Most of the time, they only give it to women who've already had children. As we all get into why, but there's got to be. They have to. This has to be the generation where they come up with something so that we can take people off hormone pills.
Yeah, I mean, anything.
Because a lot of people, even now, are they're suffering from depression and anxiety, and like, where is it all coming from? We don't know. We don't have the answers, but like maybe a little bit.
Yeah.
Fucking with people's hormones.
Throwing this thing into the mix.
You just don't know.
And just being so sort of blasé or passive about it isn't the answer. You know what I mean?
No, and I think a lot of people have loud voices now. Like Instagram allowed, I like to call them influencers, but they've allowed women to come out and have like a build up, like a following, and they're able to talk about these things.
Yeah.
And people will actually listen to them. You know?
Yeah.
So
just powering social media and then platforms, and everyone can have a voice that is not, because the problem with sort of the old media, and we all have our own biases as well, but there's more biases in sort of traditional media than there is with sort of people just reaching out like directly through their phone and giving their whole, like you did, like giving your whole personal take of what I'm going through. And it's actually such a powerful, when I just think back to that, the fact that you did that, and because a problem shared is a problem halved, as they say.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And the fact that you got it out, then, because that's what it is, it's like it clogs up your brain in a way, for me. And then once I let someone know, like, I'm dealing with this little problem, obviously mine are little problems compared to what you're dealing with, but then it's like, oh, maybe it wasn't as big of a deal in a way.
When you say it out loud, I say everything out loud.
Yeah, I say everything. Yeah,
I say everything, and even if I don't understand the feeling that I'm having or the problem that I'm having, like when I'm talking to like a certain person about it, and they'll pack at it or they'll take it out, and then the puzzle is put together, and then I feel better. But it wasn't always like that.
Yeah,
I would hold it in because I wouldn't want it to affect my current situation or whatever, however I was feeling. Do you know that kind of way?
Yeah.
It's just easier to let it in. And now, obviously, you pick and choose who you're going to be open with.
Yeah.
But like,
it's much
at
more,
the time,
you'll gravitate
it helped me
easier
to just
now.
say it out loud all the time. Like,
and once you're, it's like me, like it's such a powerful thing to have done because it's such a personal sort of struggle. And even with me in busking and the confidence that gave me, like there has to be a sort of, I'm after being so vulnerable with just like so many people, that kind of liberates you then. You know what I mean? Now how vulnerable I can just, that, and it wasn't that big of a deal. And now I'm more, it gives you a freedom probably.
But the build up probably is the worst thing. Like,
yeah.
I think I remember what, like for you doing your busking, I saw it and I was like, yes. right up your street, like.
Yeah.
But yes, I did avoid you on the street one day. I was
Oh
like,
yeah, I didn't see it.
I was giving you a wave.
Ah!
I'm giving you a wave, and I was just after an exam there a few weeks ago, and I was like, oh, it's just no, he hasn't seen me, so keep walking.
Janelle,
I could not have had you start going.
It's a hard
and
word to
banging out a
rhyme.
song.
Janelle, how do you feel? That's not that hard.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
Couldn't do it.
But
Wasn't in the right head. But that was me getting curled up in a ball, being like, no, can't handle this today.
Yeah.
Like,
Well, look, we're not always open. There's some days where
No.
I don't want to see anybody. You know what I mean? And I hate even like
Phone.
interacting.
Love leaving in another room.
Oh, I need to do that more.
It's great.
I'd love to be able to. I'm getting too into my phone now. I know I'm always having something playing. I go through these phases of too much phone dependency versus like if I'm just even going toilet, I'll just, whatever I'm doing, it's like blip, 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 little things
Like
playing
phone.
here and there. But then I notice then when I go to bed, I'm leaving it out. I'm not bringing it to bed as much. You know what I mean? That's a big thing. And just going to bed with nothing. And
Yeah.
just like
Accomplish that, then you're
that's when I know I've had a good day, and I literally
sleep better.
Yeah, you sleep much better. I it's like when I know I'm bringing my phone to my bed because I have to crawl into I have like this little I'll show you actually. It's like a fucking loft bed. That's why I can't do any shagging. You know what I mean? Because I can't bring any girls up there. If you see my room, like it's a massive red flag. But when I know I'm bringing my phone up, it's like I'm basically bringing the devil into my bed. You know what I mean? This isn't good. If I can just leave this down here, I'm gonna have a better sleep and a better day and a better life. You know what I mean? Like you're saying, getting to bed at 10. That means that you're up early and like the day and not being hungover as well is a big thing.
Well, when was the last time you had a drink?
Over 2 years.
Like, fair play to you. Like
You could do it, I'd say.
I know, but I love to have a glass of wine.
Well, then that's grand.
Like, I love on a Friday night after a long week and, you know, just open up a bottle of red wine and you just sit there and you have a glass and a square of chocolate.
That's lovely.
Or a takeaway.
Yeah, my thing is food.
And turn on a movie.
Yeah.
I know, like, don't get me wrong. Like, it's Dad's 70th on Saturday. I'll probably get a little bit drunk with the fam. And Friday night, if the lads win their final, we'll all probably head back to the Strand and have a few pints. But like, I can never I never go overboard. My brain turns off now.
Yeah.
Like, you know, like the last time we drank together was Christmas, 2018.
Yeah. Jesus,
Met you in the
that's back
coast.
from Canada.
Yeah, I met you in the coast and then we were out.
Oh my goodness.
Next day.
I remember that.
And it was great. And we were all wearing Christmas jumpers.
It was unreal.
And it was such a good
It's
night.
unreal.
But you tried to get me to do that now.
I know.
Yeah.
But as you get older, I think the hangovers become more severe.
Oh, they're terrible. It was in my friend Alex, it was her birthday, and I'd had a few drinks in town after an exam and then came back and we'd had a few drinks. But like then I started like mixing cocktails. And all of a sudden it was like 4:30. But you know, we're in your garden, it's different, and you're around like just the close people and you're like all that stuff. And when I fell asleep, woke up at 9:30 in the morning. And I had got a bit of food into me. It was like opening up my laptop screen to like start studying.
Yeah.
And I was like, fuck this. Lie back down. I woke up at 5:15.
Oh my goodness.
In the evening. Now clearly I'd done too much that week.
Yeah.
But like that's not okay.
Your body kind of tells it.
Your body did. Like I needed to sleep, regardless if I had a few drinks the night before or not. Like, but that would have been wild for me. Like,
yeah,
you know. But like, I love a good wedding. A wedding will last longer. But you like just went to a wedding there and you didn't have a drink.
I was sober, but I actually sang a song at Micah's wedding that I wrote for the wedding, and then the band asked me to come up and sing with them, so I did like Fields of Anne Roy.
Class.
And, it was class. So I was on pound 10.
You don't need a drink. Like.
For me, the only thing is that you get tired. You get a little bit tired as the night goes on.
Okay.
Like when I was in Lanzarote, I wasn't drinking, but we were doing these, have you ever done the balloons, like the nitrous oxide balloons?
No.
Oh my goodness.
People order those to their house. Is that a thing?
Yeah, people are,
in Ireland,
there's people I was talking to about this. They're in the balloon game,
What is this balloon
game? One lad
game?
I told to, I was like, I never did it before. He showed me his phone. He had balloons 1, balloons 2. It was like the balloon. It was like highs. It was like Breaking Bad of balloons.
He drives around delivering these balloon canisters.
Yeah, like it's crazy. But it's real short lived. And the first time I did it, the other thing
like
as well,
popper.
I was doing what?
Like poppers.
No, not for me. So the other thing I did, right, I was taking acid, right, but I wasn't taking loads of it. Like I think people have the different. Have you ever done any psychedelics?
Not acid.
Okay. Mushrooms?
Yeah, one time.
Oh, okay. All right. So I won't get into too much on the psychedelic stuff now. But I wasn't doing loads. You know, the thing is, it's like you don't want to go to Space Mountain. You just want to have like it's like having a glass of wine. You know what I mean? You don't want to be thinking about the metaverse and the universe and stuff. It makes everything so much.
How can you do a point? Like, how do you know when you're dabbling not to do it?
So
to hit that level though.
Well, you have to be.
Well, I wouldn't have a clue.
You come in little tabs, and then you can cut the tabs.
It was a long time ago though.
Yeah. Anyway,
it was like 24.
You had to be very respectful and very cautious with this stuff. Because it can kick the bollocks out if it goes wrong.
Like.
But yeah, I learned. I could talk. We'll have to have another podcast about this. But because I was on a little bit of acid, then I did it. Time started slowing. It was very psychedelic even on its own. I did it the next night. I was too scared to even do it. But it gives you like this. It's like, and then. Everything's going, you're moving quicker than everything's going. I thought my brain had broke and I was never going to be okay. But it was over in like 30 seconds. So that was giving me a bit of energy. But it's hard. It gets very sleepy.
Okay.
Like very sleepy. And I don't know how to be, like, you can't really, that's the thing, alcohol gives you that, like, that energy, that fake energy.
That makes me go sleep.
Yeah.
The total opposite. I'm pretty sure I've often be standing looking, eyes open. And people would say to me, they'd be like, she needs to go to bed. She's definitely asleep. Like
you have like a magic ability to sleep, it seems. Because like I'd love some of that. Like honestly, I'd love to be able to like. If I
would from the moment I get up though to the moment I go to sleep, I'm pretty busy. Like, you know, like but yesterday was nice. Yesterday was just like go to work. What did I do after work yesterday? I just came home.
No, yes.
No.
Not joking.
Went to work yesterday. I'm like, what did I do? Ended up going to the hospital, going back to work. Yeah. Then went home. And then I was like, just able to have dinner, put my feet up, turn on a movie, and I swear to God, by like 9 o'clock, I was ready to go to bed. Like,
Jesus.
But that was nice. But my body was in bits from the football match the night before, so that's why I was that tired. Like, but.
Just one final thing, just on your house that you're now able to go back and eat in and relax in. That went on fire.
Yeah.
Your house went on fire.
Yeah, the day after my first chemo, I was due to come out of the hospital.
I was during this whole thing as well.
Yeah.
Why isn't there a TV or a documentary about all this, man?
I think we'll write a book.
Yeah.
I think, like, I do believe that one day I probably will write a book.
Oh, you should definitely start.
And not been like, but even if it's just for my own sake. To leave behind. To be like, you know what? Like, shit fucking happens.
Yeah.
You could be walking outside on a sunny day and then all of a sudden a black cloud comes and you're drenched head to toe. Like, bring an umbrella. Like, you just...
But there's so much in your story, like from the diagnosis, even to the first aid thing, to the house burning, to, like, I'm sure there's probably even more if you went down into it. And chronologicalized, if that's even a word, like the whole... series of events, just for your own thinking and for your, because even for all of us to do is to like especially as we move on, you kind of forget bits and pieces. So it's good to kind of document. But anyway, your house.
Yeah, faulty TV. My brother got a new TV. It was an LG TV up in this.
LG, you hear that?
I think they were recalled.
That webcam's LG actually. No wonder it's giving me so much hassle. Yeah. Now you're getting, you point at it like that.
The SCART went on fire.
Oh my goodness.
Upstairs went on fire in the attic and it came down. But by the time the firemen got there and blasted the place out with water, sure, the house was destroyed.
Oh my God.
The walls were collapsing in, the roofs were falling down.
Because they're soaked or whatever?
They're soaked. You're destroyed. My dad was like, I'm going to finish cooking my dinner, like, he says to the fireman, like, I'm going to finish cooking my dinner and I'm staying here tonight. And he was like, you can't. Something's going to collapse. Like, your house is going to, like, the walls are going to fall in.
Yeah, because what happens when you start pumping water into a house?
Exactly, and it's made of wood and whatever that other stuff is.
Stuff that melts in water.
And he came in the next day and he walked upstairs and into his bedroom and the ceiling had collapsed down.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, and then that was just it. Like, and I'll never forget that phone call as long as I live. But the reason why they called and told me, they were going to give it a day or so and be like, call probably all the hospital and be like, but people were going to tell me. People were videoing it on their phone and putting it on Snapchat or wherever they were putting it. Gaffing attachments. Yeah, you know what I mean? Not realising the thing of it. Like,
who
you know,
was?
my neighbour had a bottle of whiskey out, feeding my dad drink, like, you know, like.
Goodness. And did you just lose anything of importance?
No, my brother lost everything.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
oh, no.
that was pretty bad, like. Some stuff.
In his room, whatever.
Yeah, we lost everything. Like, I mean, everything was just water damage and old.
Yeah.
And it just, it was just hard, like.
Oh man, that's horrendous. Like, just the idea of, like, imagine your whole room, everything in it was just gone. Because your room is where you keep all your stuff.
My sister and brother had actually swapped rooms for me, so I was in the box room and they gave me the big room for when I came home, so that we could have a chair there and like I'd have more space and whatever the case may be. But sure that all went out the window then as well. So we were lucky. My uncle lives in a 2-bedroom apartment, and my aunt had a 3-bedroom house that my dad actually grew up in. So we moved in there, and she moved in with my uncle.
No way.
And
how long did it take them to sort out your house? Did it ever get?
Almost 6 months.
Almost 6 months.
Yeah.
Who does like? Is the fire brigade? So the fire brigade come in.
Yeah,
order it, and it's like, hey, clean this mess up.
Yeah, no, you get an inspector. So there's a local fella, like a insurance claim solutions. He came in, sorted it out, got a crew to come in, and then that was it. Once the longest process is the insurance company agreeing to do it. The insurance company are trying to push it off, but at the same time, they were only trying to push it off because they knew it was LG's fault. So I presumed we got the house sorted, and then they went after LG, I presume. That's how it goes.
Just on insurance, because you got health insurance
when I was in my early 20s.
Yeah. Like, so there you go, folks. It's a good investment.
It is. Like, honestly, like, my dad, I remember the first thing he said to me, when he was allowed into the hospital to see me before we went out. I went out to see my family the day I was diagnosed, so that evening. Because my sister had to leave the hospital, go, tell everybody, bring everyone back in, but they weren't allowed to come in, but my dad was. But everyone on the ward had to be asked was okay, and everybody was, of course it's okay, like. So he was like, what happens now, like? He was like, well, I have to talk to Jay, like maybe we have to remortgage the house. And I was like, okay, calm down. Like, the worst things you go public, like, you know. But I was just lucky that I could get everything so fast, you know, because I had private health insurance.
Yeah, that's
it cost me €48 a month, and now it costs me 53.
Wow, that's amazing. Like, because it's something that I always, it's like, yeah, the earlier you start, apparently the better as well for your premium. Or
oh yeah, definitely.
So, and then it's something
and
that
I just had a friend that was talking about health insurance, and I was like, sure, what do you have that for?
Yeah.
Like, why would you pay that?
That's what I mean.
You know, and then she was telling me, and I was like, God, you're so right, like. So I just took it out.
Yeah, because it's like your insurance on your life.
But that's what it is, and it said you can spend 50 quid like that.
Yeah.
It's. What is it?
100%.
I don't know what it's 3 cocktails now in town.
Yeah.
Like, that's just the way it is.
It would cost me more than that a month, wouldn't it?
What?
Like, how much would it cost little old Dunica to insure his lad?
Yeah, because I work for a premium health insurance company.
No,
like.
what I mean is, I need help. I'm worried now. My hypochondria's
you just go on. Like, they do it like car insurance. You do your car insurance. They do it the same. You can go on, and it gives you like
do a little bundle.
VHI. I'm with Irish Life. They have all different ones, and they the Aviva one, all of them.
If you're a boy racer, they calculate it as well.
Exactly.
Like, they use the leader of your engine to determine how likely are to die.
Like, highly recommend. Bet you still haven't got it.
I know.
I know. You'll have to get that. Like, what was that? How long ago was that?
I know. After you told me that.
Literally.
I know. Look, we're going to leave it there. That's the final message.
Get health insurance.
Get health insurance. There'll be a link down below. Use it, and I'll get a little commission. Janelle gets a little bit. But we're being open and honest about it here. It was good to have you here, Janelle.
Thank
First,
you.
And probably last female. Who knows?
You're going to put you in uncomfortable situations to talk about female things.
What do you mean?
It's a joke.
Oh.
You went
we knuckled to our potential boyfriend. You know what I mean? Just want to make sure there was no look you could see underneath the table. I wasn't doing anything. I'm a good man. Anyway. And we'll leave it there.
Thank you.
If I can find this red button. No, thank you. I get the last word. As always. Blah, 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 blah.